The first National Xball League Divisional event of 2021 is just on the horizon. Don't miss the NXL Lone Star Amateur Open, going down Friday, March 19th to Sunday, March 21st at Giant Party Sports Paintball and Airsoft Park, just north of Dallas, Texas. The gunfights will rage across 2 different formats, 5-man and X-Ball, with 3 different levels of competition in each format. Make sure to register your team by Wednesday, March 10th, which is the final day to get your squad signed up for the battle. Also, tune in to watch all the action going down on center court, only on GoSports.com.
Welcome to Go Sports Tactics. I'm here with one of the best in the business, attacker on the snake side of the field, Keith Brown, Tampa Bay Damage.
It's one of those things I actually learned over time with playing the tournament and the games before. You'll see Brendikov makes a Brendikov shot and shoots me over the top. I didn't even know he could see over the top. You see him in the middle of the field right there. He is going to run the right 50 on the break. That's where he really wants to go.
Welcome to Go Sports Tactics. I'm Matty Marshall. I got, the man of the hour, Ryan Greenspan. What an amazing performance. The San Diego Dynasty, they took the victory at the World Cup during their 20th anniversary, too.
I actually wasn't even supposed to play the middle. I only played the middle because Marcelo didn't want to bunker anybody up the middle as much.
And you shot Billy Bernaccia, I believe it was 4 out of the first 5 points.
He is a master at letting everybody into his guard, into his side of into like an uncomfortable position, playing tight and snap shooting guys out.
We're going to get super in depth onto the final game, the most important game of the year, their finals match against San Antonio X Factor.
Dog eat dog. We're out there. It's haymaker after haymaker, each one. Everyone get that. Hey, I do not ever want to lose these months. There we go. We're an emotional team, so the way I see it, if you ain't playing for us, you ain't emotional.
Welcome to
Welcome here to the 2020 NXL Lone Star Amateur Open. I'm Matty Marshall with Rich Telford. And about to jump into this first match. Welcome here. It's crisp Texas morning.
Crisp. It's freezing, man.
A little north of Dallas. Yes,
I love that. I love that optimism.
Freezing cold. Hey, you know, trying to put a nice rosy shine on it, Rich.
Yeah, as I'm trying to light things on fire.
I'm trying to talk to myself in my head and trying to warm myself up internally by being positive. And but yeah, right now we got the Psychopaths taking on Desmadre. And we are here. It's a D4 matchup. So this morning we will have alternating between D4 and D2. And then this afternoon it's going to be all D2, which is the highest level competition here at the event.
The Desmadres are pumped up. They're fired up.
Yeah, coming all the way from California.
Yeah, road trip.
Los Angeles. And the Psychopaths actually have done pretty well in D4 off and on, like most teams. But second World Cup in 2018. They are in the purple, jumping into this first one, looking over the shoulders here and into the rising sun.
Snake on the break.
Yeah, the Slaughter's getting into Snake on the break. Going to be crawling up past Snake 2 and he gets a Snake 3. Interesting Snake structure. We're going to be talking about the layout here. First body to drop is going to be for Desmadres, and I don't see anyone walking off for the Psychopaths right now.
And Psychopaths have filled the Snake, Matty, so there's one body advantage for them, and then also the Snake shooting across the field. Yeah,
slightly better field position here for the Desmadres on the Snake side, but down a body. They do have one body on that D side, but he's still pretty far away from his opponents. He's at kind of D1 and D2 are pretty much parallel, so we're just going to call that D1 inside and D1 outside. So he's at the D1 inside right now, looking towards the Snake side here, Rich, and now the Psychopaths moving up on the Snake side.
Yeah, and that's a great spotting, Matt. That's a great spot, Matty, for that D1 early in the game before they fill the Snake, because you can shoot that cut.
Body coming off right now. Back corner bunker on the Snake side for the Desmadres.
And the Dorito corner for the Psychopaths.
I do like how the Psychopaths are playing the Snake side, though, wrapping around outside, keeping that outside contained. There's no one down the wire on him anymore, whereas Desmadres losing another body here.
And it's the Snake guy shooting cross field that's getting those kills, man.
Yeah, and now he's up on his feet. He's into the 50-yard line structure at that 40 lay-down wedge. Desmadre going to move a body up here to try to find himself an angle here to maybe get a kill. He's going to get run down, though.
Yeah, classic mistake as that Snake guy we talk about all the time. First, protect yourself, right? Assume the guy in front of you is going to try to get you. As you protect yourself from the guy in front of you, kill the people across the field, not vice versa.
Yeah, DeHoot in there for Desmadres getting bunkered out by Sullivan for the Psychopaths. I liked how Sullivan played that, though. You can't really, Rich, to speak on what you were talking about, you can't really protect yourself when you're just looking inside.
No.
Yeah, and DeLuke was just looking inside the whole time from the Snake.
Yeah. And, you know, that's the things. That's how you learn not to do that.
Yeah, I mean, hey, maybe a head check down the wire.
Why not?
Once you know you lost your back guy.
The nice thing about looking down the wire is you can see if anyone's trying to stop you, right? Oh, and Desmadres loses the last player there from the center tower.
That's it. Hey, first point of the day, first point of the tournament. A little bit of a slow start for here for Desmadre.
Yeah.
But yeah, you could see that last player left alive. Did not know the count at all, unless he was trying to play
They're everywhere.
Yeah, and he's trying to yell to some non-existent teammates out on the field, and as he's turning around to yell, he gets shot, and then immediately turns around and looks back and starts screaming as teammates are dying early.
Guys, I said stay alive.
Yeah,
I wrote that down. Stay alive.
Not a great start here for Desmadres. I mean, it wasn't completely atrocious. They didn't get any majors, they didn't get any penalties. They just lost a couple gunfights and just really didn't have any offense.
Yeah, and they were first in the Snake. This Snake, Matty, is one of those snakes where if you're the first one in the Snake and there's no one in the Snake and there's no one in the Snake corner, that you can literally go all the way to there into the Snake, or certainly to their side of the 50. But the Spotters didn't look to do that. They sat inside, looked to zone up, cross up the middle, shoot down the Dorito side.
Yeah, I like the game plan the Desmadres came out with, but
good breakout.
Not exactly. It was kind of tough to tell. They didn't really.
First time playing the field, too.
I was going to say I didn't really like maybe the angles they were shooting from those spots initially, but they started losing bodies so quick that it was kind of tough to tell. So they're going to have to restart now, heading into our other match here in the split deck format. Barline Blanco
and going to be taking on SLT. SLT's from Utah.
You know what I like about SLT is their name is really easy to say.
Yeah, Barline Blanco. They're here from Dallas. Oh, look at this though. Not a great start.
Dropping 2
for
already.
SLT.
Yeah,
is,
dropped 2 already. And Blanco's in snake, about to go snake 50. They've got 2 on the snake side, 1 in the center of the field.
Modern moving up here.
Yeah, shoot across to that little Dorito. Oh, and he catches him right in the face. Good shot there. Yeah, those little Doritos get real hard to live in. Oh, they lose their first player from the Dorito side. Secondary player fills out there. Still 4 players left alive for Blanco. I believe there's only 1 player left alive for SLT, and that's the Dorito corner, which is one of those really small bunkers that are so hard to fight out of. Oh, no, they've got one here in the God, too, Maddie. So 2 players left.
Yeah, 2. They're crossed up, but not in great positions. That back corner bunker, that little kick, the spot is going to get real tough for him in there as they start putting pressure from both sides. Mama's doing a good job, though, so far. Just bunker to bunker.
Yeah, just taking what they give him, right? Not too much. Just taking what they give him. When he doesn't have an angle, he moves forward.
And when you're in that high body situation like this, that's the type of moves you want to see. And okay, that was a little bit, back corner bunker opened up on him a little, and there is that crack he has to worry about there, Rich, at the bottom of that bunker. He's got to be wary of that, and now he's going to switch up the angle and try to figure out if he can move up and shoot this player in the Aztec in the pack, which he can't quite get past that gap yet.
He can, Maddie, because that
It's a
can
little
blocks him
blocked
out, but he doesn't know it
It's
yet.
not completely blocked out, but mostly blocked out.
Yeah. It's again, first time playing this field for all these guys, so they're going to take a little bit more time. They'll be a little bit more cautious, just trying to figure these angles out, seeing what they can and cannot get away with. But I'm pretty sure he can wrap around there, use that can to block the corner, and then kind of get that guy in the temple there. As we say, that the guy in the temple's eliminated.
Yeah, Fussell in here in the center for Barline doing a real good job.
Yeah, Barline looked good there with 4 bodies left alive, Maddie.
Yeah, they and talking it up. I mean, pretty much that was that a perfect point?
Yeah.
Did they
No, they
lose
lost
anybody?
1. Yeah, they lost 1.
Yeah,
they lost the
only
Dorito guy
one,
earlier.
But, yeah, Maudlin, Fisher.
But communication was good. The guy moved down the snake slowly, methodically, but effectively.
Yeah, Fussell there in the center on that close. When you're in a high body situation, the guy in the center, well, it's your job always is to keep the communication going back and forth. But it's even more important when you're only looking at a couple bodies, and maybe not everyone knows where those couple bodies are. How you lose high body situations is when you start playing by yourself, you're taking too big of bites, you're over battling against somebody who's at a disadvantage.
Yeah.
And then thus now you're giving them a little bit more of an advantage by engaging with them.
You're over there waiting for someone to give you that crucial information that you need. You wait so long, you get frustrated, and then you make that decision, and if it's a bad decision, you pay for it.
So Barline, Blanco going to be up by 1. Psychopaths here back on the field in the purple jerseys. Again, we're in this the D4 matchups right now, and we're going to be staggering between D4 and D2 today as we move our way through these sets until we get to the afternoon. Once we hit to the 12:45 set, it's going to be all D2 this afternoon. So that's the best, highest division here. And on the breakout right now, no one really taking much ground. Really heavy guns, Rich, for the Psychopaths.
And it pays off, man. They get 2 kills on the break. They went 3 Dorito side, man. First time we've seen that breakout.
Yeah, going heavy D side, but then immediately getting a guy into Snake 2, and with those 2 big kills, and they're just not looking at a ton of guns right now, so it's pretty easy for them to move up. This player in the Snakes taking a little bit of pressure as they launch on the D side, and 2 more bodies coming off. Yeah, penalty. See the flag there on the ground, and it's just not a great start.
Is making this as hard on themselves as they can, Maddie.
Yeah.
When you lose 2 bodies early, do not get that penalty because there's almost no chance that you win in that point.
It's kind of that desperation moment, though.
Your team
you don't see that.
Yeah, your team has a chance of pulling off a 3-on-5. They're probably not going to pull off a 2-on-5.
Or a 1-on-5?
Yeah.
Yeah, but you know how it is. We've all been in that spot. You look across, you see the 2 guys come off early, you drop the first point, and then you just inch into that gray area a little bit, and that's unfortunate. But
yeah, speak for yourself, cheater. Jesus, I run off the field as soon as someone shoots at me.
Totally, absolutely. Liar.
Nonsense.
So now with 10 minutes and just 8 seconds left on the clock, so again, a lot of time left. Just get things going here. But yeah, it's
early favorites are here so far. Obviously, with all these crazy matches going back and forth, but Blanco's looking real good.
Yeah, Blanco's looking good. Psychopaths looking really good.
Yes, I'd like to see that. Then they match up after this, right? Next match or 2 matches down.
Yeah, they'll eventually play each other here, but it's well, Psychopaths again took second World Cup 2018 in D4, and if you can take second at World Cup, it means you're probably pretty decent. All right, these teams will switch each side. So SLT, red and black and gray. Ooh, kind of a yard sale a little bit, getting into snake 1 here for SLT.
Yeah,
But
real lucky to break that ankle.
yeah, it looks like he's still good to go. They are going to be shooting a body in front of him, though. So Barline losing their body here. Their attacker on the snake side still have a body at the Aztec, though. And
Yeah, he's the guy who did all the work for him last game.
Yeah.
We'll see if someone can fill his spot.
better field position currently and a high body situation, a little bit of a high body situation for SLT. And since they're down by 1, they lead this one, 9:43 to go. So
Yeah, they got 3 guys in the 40 now, man. They're moving up kind of together. One in the Dorito 50 over there, one in the big one next to him, and then Snake 3 over here. So they've got 3 guys attacking, 2 guys supporting those 2 guys. 4-on-5 advantage here. Blanco losing the first player in Snake.
Tedro and Snake. Here at Snake 3 looking inside, another body coming off. So bad survivability here for Barline Blanco in this second point.
Looks like we're going to have a nice back and forth match, though, which we always enjoy.
Hopefully. You know, we just came off that Virginia exhibition where we saw a ton of overtime points and a lot of close games. I'm hoping we see that here in the first NXL event.
Heck yeah. And so what's your take on this, Matt? Because I've gotten a couple different takes on going to the divisional events and Go Sports covering them.
Well, I'm excited to see. Anytime we come to the divisional events, the question I'm asking myself and putting out to the world is who's up next? Who are going to be the guys we're going to be talking about a couple years in the pro field? It all starts here. Obviously, we've got tons of different divisions out here. We're watching a D4 matchup, and occasionally you're going to see rising stars out of here.
This looks like a pretty polished D4 to me.
Well, that's the thing about the divisionals. And you can't go back 10 years ago when we were doing webcasts, and D4 was honestly kind of terrible. And it's just the diffusion of the skills with all the pros teaching clinics and all your availability to watch tape, and it is just the high skill level has started to move its way down the divisional ranks. But as always, the difference is the timing, the windows closing quicker, and then obviously, the refined elements of the gunfight, better snapshots, more accuracy, et cetera. But yeah, I like coming out to divisional events. And sometimes you see wild and crazy stuff in the divisionals that you do not see in the pro
I think
leagues.
you always see wild and crazy stuff in the divisionals. But what I really like about it is what you spoke to earlier, is about just giving these guys another opportunity to figure out how to get better at paintball and get themselves up to that pro position or that pro team that they want to be at.
Yeah, well, they're going to be able to go back and watch this tape and kind of go to school on their own performances. I really like this comeback, though. Obviously still really early, but you go down 1 in the very beginning of the game, it can be a little frustrating, and that's your first gut check of the tournament. What are you going to do? And their survivability was not great for SLT in that first one. They got beat to the punch on the offense once they lost bodies, but what a great comeback point here to tie it up 1-1 with 7:28 to go.
Yeah, and I think we watched that first game, it looked like Blanco blew them out, but when Blanco was on the other side staring into the sun, the game was almost the same. So I think maybe for these first matches, people on the west side of the field might have a little bit of a disadvantage.
Yeah, the glare is going to be a bit of an issue for probably maybe the next half hour or so.
Teams are definitely in there digging through their bag. Where are those tinted goggles?
Yeah.
I need
Does
those
anyone
lenses.
have a visor? I hate wearing visors, but I really would like one right now. Yeah, you can see it down there. I mean, look at the Psychopaths. They didn't have any problems on that side, but they're back down there again, and they are definitely. Anytime you see the guys with doing the hand visor, that's when the glare is an issue.
For sure.
So yeah, and again, it's just something you got to deal with, fight through it. And Psychonauts not having a problem so far here through 2 points. A little bit more time left in this one, 9:26. Going to be starting our 3rd point. Now it's Desmadre's time to tighten things up.
For sure. Lose this point, you probably lose the match. Win this point, you're right back in the game.
Yeah, and I mean, even if they lose it, they have enough time. But once you go down 3-0, it just gets really mentally difficult.
Yeah, it becomes current on the other team to make mistakes, not how well you play. You can go out and play really well, but if the other team doesn't make mistakes, you're still going to win.
So they're going to take a lot of ground here. Very aggressive breakout for these Madres.
Yeah, like that.
Yeah, the first time we've seen somebody take that wedge on the D side off the break. Countering right now. Psychonaut's going to be losing a body. Back corner bunker on the D side. They do get into the snake, but yeah, most of the real estate, especially on that D side, has been taken by Desmadres.
Yeah, they are in the small Dorito 1, Maddie, the Psychopaths, but that's it. Oh, Desmadres lose their first attacker over there on the Dorito side.
And that's the death you can't have. You can't die in that spot. When you're down by 2 and you have a lot of time left, really no need to recklessly engage from that spot. He's just getting a little bit too sloppy in there and over-battling too much. So
when you're down by 2, you have to go out and play a perfect point. You have to go out and just execute your play, whatever your play is, and not make any mistakes. And if anybody makes a mistake, then you're probably not going to win that.
Move out wide. The backup is D side first attacker here for Desmadres, getting out to the back corner bunker. Oh, but it cost him his body. I'm not sure if he got shot on the field. He's going to get a major penalty too. So just when it's looking good for Desmadres to make this one a little bit more of an interesting match, they're going to be throwing, maybe is that a concession? Or did the Psycho? No, Psychonauts double body here in the Snake, but Rich, I don't, and then a body on the D side and inside D1.
Well, she threw a red flag. Maybe she meant to throw a yellow flag because I didn't see him pull anybody.
That's a good point. I think she only pulled one body. Yeah, she pulled one from the back center.
And, the reason that guy drew the penalty, Matty, was he was in the can, and the referee on this tape saw him get shot, was signaling, and then he filled away.
This battle on the Snake side here, Rich, is going to decide it probably, and it's going to be won by the Psychonauts.
And that's that same guy who's been through the Snake 3 times. Same guy who's been through the Snake form. He got shot the one time on the break with the 2 points. He's been clocking in and just doing work, shooting across the field. Not really going down the field fast, putting pressure on the Snake side, but putting a lot of pressure on the Dorito side, getting a lot of kills across the field.
So DeHoopin here possibly could have won this point, as now another body going to be coming off for the Psychopath, so 2 bodies left alive for them. But yeah, this player in the Snake right now for the Psychopaths with that big kill. Once you get that kill, especially on the Snake side, he's going to get that easy kill crossfield, a free one here, and 13 McCoy.
McCoy. So we call him McCoy just for being so close to St. Patrick's Day.
Well, it's Mick something. I wish he turned his back to me a little bit more, but
that's okay. Keep playing like that. We will learn your name.
I think it's McCoy. Yeah, he's playing well over here. Now they're up by 3. Little bit of a gift of that penalty. It did appear to be a minor, even though a red flag was thrown.
Yeah, she might have just grabbed the wrong flag.
That does happen.
But as soon as I saw the referee over here pointing at him, he saw the same thing and ran. I was like, uh-oh, he's gonna get a penalty. Don't make him chase you. All right, so far this has been all Blanco.
No, this is the even one.
Oh, that's right, this is the even one. It's interesting to see if SLT can come back and play good again from that right side of the field.
Yeah, we're looking at it right now on your screen. I mean, the glare's legit, right?
I can't even look at the screen, Matt.
Yeah, that's anytime you have a field that's laid out east-west, and you're playing either early in the morning or late in the afternoon, it's a roll of the dice once you get to that glare side of the field.
Go Blanco on the right. That's a shot of SLT breaking out.
So taking the Snake here off the break floor, bar line, 5-on-5, solid breakout. Referee going to be getting in and checking out one of those bodies here for SLT. And I don't see anybody taking a walk though.
Blanco attacking down to Druda 3, Matty, to the 40-yard line. Druda over there.
Yeah, good position right now for Barline Blanco. Have D3, also body inside D1. D3 is also hot inside D1, so pretty mirrored up. Currently on the D side, as SLT's in a pretty good spot too. Snake side also mirrored up, but a little tentative over here so far. It's totally fine. Just under 6 minutes to go.
SLT lose their first player from the drill side, Matty.
That's a good kill here for Barline Blanco.
Oh, he shoots cross, gets that Drew 2 from the Snake 2.
That's a nice shot across field.
And again, that glare, you know, he can't look this way and see the guy in the Snake shooting at him.
You can kind of tell, too, because Modeling over here, he ripped that lane across field and guy didn't even check in.
Just start shaking his head.
It's like, oh, man.
I got shot by the sun, I promise.
That's a real good shot, though, from Modeling, because he knew that lane and he was just accurate on his first stream. Now he's going to try to get, looks like SLT here going to launch on the attack and to get a kill and stay alive over there. Referee hasn't pulled him out. Modeling has to focus his gun completely down that side. He is going to move up now, and there goes bodies just coming off everywhere. This guy on the D side is just absolutely destroying Barline Blanco single-handedly right now, and he's going to run in and hit that buzzer. But Modelin's going to pay the toll over there, and he's going to turn around and be like, "What happened in that point, boys? How did you guys all die?"
Who is that that got the 4-pack? Can we see his name? Because that was an amazing. It was a ballsy move. They started losing bodies. He ran the first guy clean, ran the second guy clean, and then shot 2 more guys out of their bunkers.
Oh, he was in the shade of the.
Great job, man.
Back. Yeah, that was
sorry,
amazing.
buddy. Amazing job. Let us know your name later so we can give you some credit for that.
Number 2.
Good job, bro.
Number 2 from SLT. That's the best move of the tournament so far.
And we're deep in. I mean, we're close to our...
Yeah, super far into the tournament, yes.
But that was a great move, and that shows you what's available over on that side, Matt. Especially when they got 4 guns looking snake side.
Well, that was just a good example of sometimes the best time to attack is when things aren't really looking good for you, because that's not expected.
Yeah, if you're on the bad side of the field looking into the sun and you start to lose bodies, you're like, you know what? This point's got to get over one way or another. I can try to go win it, or we can just sit here staring at the sun hoping not to get shot out.
Yeah, because Desmadre had just shot his back player over there on the D side. And
Yeah,
so
he was
they're
all
probably
by
thinking,
himself.
hey, there's just one over there on the D side. We're moving up on the snake. Things are looking pretty good for us. Marlon has just got that kill cross field. And that's kind of when that false sense of competency and security comes in.
I can do anything.
Yeah, and he came through, I think he shot 4 of them?
Yep.
Maybe 3.
No, he shot 4.
4, yeah. It was a nasty move. That's what we want to see out here.
The first 2 guys were shocked. The second 2 guys were just disappointed. Psychopaths breaking out. Again, they like that 3 Dorito side breakout, Matty.
Yeah,
3 Dorito side, 1 snake, 1 home.
Yeah, this is Mercy Rule territory right now. The Psychopaths up by 3. 4-point Mercy Rule here.
Here's their first shot out of Casares out of back center there.
Sullivan into the snake right now for the Psychopaths. Into snake 2, looking crossfield. Good crossfield spread.
I gotta say, man, like, I'm pretty impressed with the level of play here. Not a lot of guys are walking out early, getting blown off field. Looks like Casadores just loses another player. Decimores loses another player over here on snake side, Matty. So 3 on 4 as Psychopaths lose their first player.
Yeah, the Psychopaths have had pretty much control of every single one of these. The last one was close.
Oh,
but
they did not see each other across that field.
Yeah, good penetration, a little tactical retreat here for Desmadre as he had made it past the 50-yard line.
Yeah.
Has to retreat back into D3.
I think he can blind shoot right over that brick, over that pin, right into that guy.
If the guy's standing up real high right now. He definitely can. Oh, he's back down low.
He just tried.
The lower that guy gets, the less that shot is there. And
yeah.
So, well, unless Sullivan stands up himself.
Yeah, or the Dorito guy stands up and shoots back to Sullivan. Vice versa. It's one of those shots where you can't see it, but you know the paint's coming.
He's thinking about it.
Yeah.
He's thinking about standing up to rip that lane.
I definitely want to shoot that guy.
Yeah, I think he does know that. Oh,
he
missed him by a half inch.
Or is he trying to bounce it off that? Oh, now he's shooting back at him.
He just missed him by about a half inch. He couldn't get quite into that lane.
But if he releases, goes around, man, and crawls that 50 snake, then he can smoke him, right?
Yeah, and he can live back up off that. He doesn't have to fully commit into that bunker.
I think he's working harder than he needs to.
Yeah, that's definitely something that every snake player needs to know that
right.
angle.
This is the 3rd time he's played the field, or 4th time he's played the field, so he's not going to have all those shots that most people have after playing the field for 7 or 8
I'm a
points.
fan of the blind layout.
Oh, me too.
It creates a more dynamic story, and I think more interesting moves are available.
I think it's the best thing for paintball. And some people don't like it because it's not good for them personally, but we have to do what's best for the sport in general first, and then what's best for us personally after that.
Really? If you're a team that
Don't say that shockingly, like that hasn't been messing us up for the last 20 years.
No, I know, but if you have a lot of resources or a field, if you have an awesome training facility that can put the field up and tons of paint to shoot, yeah, of course it's going to be great for you to play a layout for a couple weekends, but reading a field and being able to walk it is a skill, knowing angles and having that high paintball IQ. So I'm a huge fan of that. And also, to me, watching it as a viewer, it creates an interesting story because who is going to learn the field quickest, and then how is are the game plans going to evolve throughout the 3-day event?
And a whole other set of tools, right? Like a whole other thing you have to be good at. So if you're not the fastest guy on the team, you're not the best looking guy on the team, maybe you're smarter.
I feel like I'm being attacked right now.
No, I'm not saying you. I'm saying as a general. It's interesting, though, that you would take that way. We're going to have to talk later.
You just said not the fastest and not the best looking. That's totally
So clearly I'm not talking about you. But it gives you another feather in your hat. Makes you like, so if you're a smart guy, you can still play the game. And to me, that's super important.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you.
And my argument to the field thing is teams are still going to go to the fields and practice, man. You give them sample layouts, they practice the field anyway. They have to because the other teams are going to practice.
Yeah, you're incredibly lazy if your excuse is, well, we don't have the layout to play, so I don't know if I can make that practice, bro.
Well, and some teams will take that out. Like, well, let's just go, we'll scrimmage for 5 minutes in the morning. We're fine.
So, Psychopaths just...
That's a 4-0, right?
Yeah, completely dismantling Desmadre out here with 4 minutes to spare. Last player, or the player hitting the buzzer, getting checked out by the ref.
And, they've had 4 or 5 bodies alive every game, too, man. They're playing really, D4, to me, they're playing really good paintball.
Yeah, they look good. And I would have liked Desmadre to put up a little bit more of a fight.
Yeah, I thought that second or that 3rd point they were going to come back a little harder, but just, again, everyone's going to have a little bit of a hard time adapting to these fields that they haven't seen, haven't played. And a little tip out there, because I was out there quite a bit yesterday, and I watched a lot of the teams walk the field. And if you were going to walk a field like this, Matty, that you'd never played before, and not just for yourself or for myself, but for the other people that are on our teams that aren't as smart as we are, how long would you spend on that team, or how long would you want your team to spend on that field?
Unfortunately, we used to spend a lot of time walking fields, like literally hours.
Hours, right?
Hours.
I saw some teams come out, give it the old 15, 16-minute walk through, and be like, all right, we're good. We got it all figured out.
Yeah, it's unfortunately not going to work.
But they got to learn that, right? That now next time maybe hopefully they'll spend a little more time.
I understand those cold beers at the hotel room are calling you,
But you can drink them on the field too, guys. Jesus.
Yeah, just put them in a different bottle.
Here we go. Blanco on the left, SLT on the right. There's a breakout shot from SLT.
Yeah, here on the breakout right now. SLT with a slight lead. 6 minutes on the dot here. Left to go. Looking over the shoulders right now.
Wow, Maddie, I'm really surprised. A lot of teams are really favoring that Dorito size. SLT loses their first back center player. He draws a penalty. SLT player now being pulled from Dorito side. So 2 over there on the Dorito side, 1 over here on the Snake side for SLT. Blanco loses 2 players. 1 back center, 1 Dorito, so it's a 3-on-3.
SLT's going to be losing their D-side player. He went from the wedge inside. That's the first time I've seen that move from the wedge into D3, but it cost him his body.
Apparently it doesn't work.
Barline Blanco was very much holding that lane down. Now Barline Blanco almost throwing a body away. Actually, throwing a body away with a little bit over aggression over here on the Snake side. They still have 2 more bodies on this side, and it looks like they're looking at 2 bodies total for SLT. You can see him here creeping, trying to find the angle, and he's going to run to the inside. Might as well just go and execute him at this point. Oh my God, he stayed alive. But that's the power. That's the power of having 2 bodies here attacking.
The power of numbers. And it seemed like Blanco knew when the numbers were right, and they just jumped in that snake. They're like, "There's 2 of us. One of us will find him, shoot him. The other guy will clean it up."
I kind of like how DeMott did that, though.
Yeah.
You know, DeMott was the first guy out here on the attack, and he was kind of creeping through, trying to figure out the best angle.
He was going sneaky.
But really not over-committing.
No.
Knowing that they were in a really good spot, knowing he had an additional body to work with. Couldn't see who that was for that additional body over here. He finally was like, this guy's got to die. I'm just going to go and take this dude out. But he got shot. Yeah,
he traded.
And then DeMott heard that engagement and immediately went and executed that
well,
guy.
That's
textbook.
And the Snake guy, on the flip side, shot the first guy that tried to come get him and traded with the second guy because he was protecting himself.
Yeah, it was a pretty solid point here from Barline Blanco to tie this one up at 2. And we will
Good match, man.
Yeah, and we'll be in Xball here.
True Xball. Explain that to everybody, Matty.
2 minutes in between points now. We do the split deck to fit as many teams as we possibly can. I'm not a big fan of the split deck because
it's a 25-minute
game. One story at a time.
It's a 25-minute game. 25 balls a second.
Did we just transport back into 2004?
Ish.
Yeah, was I talking to? I think it was one of the Energy Elite guys 2 weekends ago, and they're like, "Oh man, I wish we could go back to when it was lawless, 15 balls a second." I'm like, 15 balls a second was not nearly as lawless.
That's rookie ball.
As it was when nobody could figure out how to cap the guns yet.
Yeah. Yeah, man, those are some intense practices.
Yeah.
Let me see. You're shooting 330, and you're shooting 28 balls a second. Cool. And you want someone to run to the corner? Yeah. Okay, cool.
Shooting like eggshell
Good luck
Imperial
with
at each other.
No, remember J-ball?
Well, no. When it hurt the most is when we would go play in the winter and we're shooting marbles at each other, and we would go play, say, at like Bob Long's backyard field, and he'd be like, "Matty, here, shoot my new gun," and it's just ripping 320. Legit 22 balls a second.
Yeah, duel's opening up, third shot
like,
in.
I'm over here with like my single trigger matrix, and I'm like, oh, this is going to be a long, long day.
For them. Look like it's getting a little bit better out there.
It's still an issue, but you're right. It's going to be improving every minute. But yeah, look at that. Anytime you see the hand visors, not good. So looks like we got a timeout here. The 2 minutes wasn't enough.
I gotta say, I'm really surprised that Blanco is the only team that's really emphasizing the snake. They're putting 3 guys snake side. A lot of the other teams, all 3 other teams in the bracket are going 3 Doritos.
Yeah, I mean, when you have a snake structure at and near the 50-yard line that has 4 big bunkers, 3 giant ones and 1 decent size, you kind of think it's going to be a strong snake side. You never really know until you play it. And then how strong. So with the blind layout, we will see as things evolve how potent the snake side is going to be, how much offense can be created, either as the main thrust or the counter punch down that D side. And then the center is kind of a little bit wide open. We were kind of also looking at even some of the less mobile guys, which could start at the home, that back center bunker, and then tier up and make it into that 50-yard line or the big brick in the center of the field on some inserts, just because it is staggered.
Yeah,
with the tower,
I think you for sure can get up there. I just don't know. I think both the tapes are so strong that once you get up there, you're just kind of, unless you can effectively shut down your tape, you're just kind of waiting to die from whichever tape you're not shutting down.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for the coffee and croissants this morning.
I got you.
I appreciate it.
I gotta keep my man happy, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So when you go in there, sometimes they have displays of like a thermos, like a thermostat, like thermos type mugs. Where you can put your coffee in the thermos.
Yeah.
And it keeps it warm.
Oh, Okay, yeah.
Yeah, so tomorrow if you get me coffee, if you could get me one of those thermoses and put the coffee in the thermos, that would be amazing.
You don't like slightly cold coffee?
I like it better than no coffee for sure. But I think you're a lot more manly than me because you're still drinking yours, and I know that's cold.
Need the caffeine, man. It's a little
No,
early.
thank you. He goes Blanco, snake on the break. We didn't talk. We talked about it a little bit earlier, but 2 or 3 points ago when that guy went in and caught his barrel tip and ripped his gun out of his hand, and it looked like he broke it. It looked like he broke his wrist. I was like, oh no, first injury of the day.
Yeah, the turf's nice. It's one of those.
You got to get used
turfs
to it.
that, it's a little spongy, which can
It's
make
definitely spongy.
It's going to make your impact nice, and it's not going to hurt you, but it can possibly stick in there depending on how you land. That's why you got to do it.
It's going to be better on your knees and elbows, but worse on your wrists and ankles. I like that. Blanco right at the snake 3, looking inside. He can control the center of the field from there. He can also eliminate the Dorito 2 from there, as we've seen earlier. He's got no one in front of him. Now he does have one SLT players in front of the snake. Before he didn't have anyone in the snake.
Yeah, Malden's been playing the snake pretty solid. He hasn't made too many mistakes over here.
Yeah, and it looks like Blanco's shifted gears and started playing defensively. They've got 3 across the back, they've got Snake 3, and they got Dorito 2, and everyone's just kind of zoning up, man. They're up by, I mean, it's an even game, so I'm guessing they're looking to either get a couple bodies or run this clock down.
Yeah, well, they're making the move. I feel I can't knock them too much. Still a little unsure on the layout. They haven't had a chance to watch anyone else play it. This is our first set. 3:40 on the clock, but a tie game.
But if they play a slow, smart point and then win at the end, that might be a really good strategy.
Exactly, with it being so short on time. I mean, still 3:30 left. It's not short on time quite yet, but with a tie game and a 5-on-5 break, body coming off though from the back corner bunker here for SLT.
That's one of those bunkers you got to stay alive in, man.
Yeah, I was going to say, this is one of those instances where, because it is so close on the points and not a lot of time, and we could see an overtime point, see one of our longer points out here, depending on how things go. But, you know, Malden on the attack here.
Yeah, he's got 2 in front of him now. They filled that snake corner, and they filled the snake wing, the big snake 50 wing. Oh.
Move on the D side, though. Execution as
they trade.
Billy asked for it. Barline now playing aggressive. They're getting Malden up pretty far on the snake. He's in the 50 structure at the 40, and then they made the big move on the D side to clear out that first attacker here for SLT in front of him. So no one on that D side at all currently. So the Barline Blanc needs to get a body over there, because SLT still has a body over in the outside D1.
They've got
and he's going to have them both. Malden trying to get the shot cross field, but he misses it this time. Okay, so he's blocked out. They do have a body over there. He's mirrored up. He's also in the outside D1 here for Barline. But Malden, he's got a guy with the ball.
Yeah, and that Dorito player for Blanco needs to go down the field because he can't put any pressure on the Doritos in front of him until you get to the 50. It's one of those where they're all blocked out until you get to the 50.
Is there a speaker over there? Because he just made that move right as you said that.
What he needs to do.
All right, now what he
he
needs
goes.
to do is protect the snakes.
Oh, beautiful shot. I think he got him with the second bullet.
Rookie mistake here. I mean, we'll see if Malden shot a lane in there on him, but it looks like he missed him again.
Oh, he's got a mirror now, Matty.
Well, Malden's got to be careful because Malden has to live by his gun.
They saved him.
So now SLT is going to push that body forward. He's going to get run down. Yeah, so this is going to be a nice little execution of closing this point out for Barline. They still have a body in the back corner bunker. He's going to get shot cross field. That should do it. So Fussell again with some good communication. Malden playing well here on the snake side, and the D side also pretty outstanding. It's liking what I see out of that point.
So Blanco's going to have a 1-point advantage with 1 minute and 39 seconds left in the match. They played really, really well. They're good control paintball. And SLT had a few chances. They got up into the snake, mirrored with Monalo, but they couldn't get him out of there. And then they were just down one body kind of the whole game, kind of chasing it.
Yeah, that was definitely a textbook standard play there from Barline. Came out, took a little ground, not a ton, but got 5 bodies alive out most importantly, and then started with the secondaries up the field, took the position. Malden put a lot of pressure from the snake side, and then that turned the guns, and then the push, then the counter punch, or the second overhand right. You set him up with the jab, and then finish with the overhand right. Overhand right came from the D side.
Yep. Yeah, they played smart. 2 attackers on the tapes, 3 in the middle, just staying alive, shooting their guns, eating up a little bit of clock time. Got a G over here, snake side, shifted the body. Textbook paintball. And again, like, man, D4 has come a long way in the last 4 or 5 seasons. I remember.
We're not just saying that either. Like, go back and watch tape on D4 from 6-7 years ago. It's not the same. You know?
Well, and you can see the level play is different by that last event we were at, the exhibition match.
Yeah.
When you have a kind of a mid to low ranked semi-pro team jump up and play well against the mid-ranked pro teams. That would have never happened 5 or 6 years ago.
Yeah.
So the level of play for everybody's gone up.
Well, yeah, I mean, and they're here. So Notorious, who almost won that tournament, is here playing D2. Their plan is to go semi-pro.
They got to be having some confidence.
Yeah, but I mean, it's not like they were semi-pro before and dropped out. And that team's been around for a while, but had a bunch of different guys on the squad. So their plan is to see how they do here in D2. I'm guessing they're probably going to do pretty well.
If they can keep their guys together, that's one of the small problems they have in that program is they've got a 30-person program.
Well, when I was kind of doing my homework and going and looking at the rosters and where these teams came from and how they've done and the results over the years, it's kind of interesting because some of these teams have been together for a long. It's like kind of similar stories in some of the teams in the sense that some of them have been together for a long time, but they've had a ton of guys go through the rosters.
Yeah.
The turnover's been insane.
Bushwhacker program.
Yeah, so yeah, it's hard to. So they've been in D4 for a long period of time because they can't get a consistent roster to move up the ranks.
Because that's the best they can do.
Yeah. So, and I get it. And then other teams, you look at their the name and how long they've been together, and they haven't been together that long. Maybe some of them this is their first event, but then you go and actually go down the rabbit hole how long those guys have been playing, and they've been playing for some of them 10 years.
Blows me away.
But
man.
with different squads.
Yeah.
But you know how that goes. That's why it's so hard to make a run to get deep into the tournament paintball structure. If you want to be a semi-pro or a pro team, you got to keep a core group of. You either have a ton of money and buy players, or you got to.
And that's not easy.
And that's really hard. Or because even if you have the money, you still got to poach the guys.
And it doesn't mean they're going to be successful.
Yeah, and then you're going to a guy and be like, hey, I'm gonna give you this money, but you're coming to an unproven squad.
We hope we do well.
How much do you need the money? Because if they don't need the money, then they're like, nah, dude, I'm gonna go stay.
Trust me, we've been there.
Yeah, we're speaking from experience here, ladies and gentlemen.
Here we go, 3-2, 137 left in this match. SLT needs to get an early kill and then push down this field because I have a feeling Blanco's going to spread the field and stay alive.
But Blanco Barline did not get one of their bodies out, Rich. This is disaster for them. They had a terrible start. They couldn't get one of their guys out to the start gate here with a 1-point lead in just a minute and 25 seconds. So the door is open right now for SLT.
Yeah, because they've got no one on the snake side for Blanco.
Yeah, they got a big gift here. Barline looked completely discombobulated out there to start this out.
Blanco moving up to the snake, 45 or 50 now. He's got 3 SLT players in front of him. SLT players are down to almost only a minute left on the field if they want to get back and tie this match. They're shooting their guns, they're communicating, but they're not really playing like they know that there's less than a minute. Because if you know that there's less than a minute, you need to be on your feet, not your knees.
Yeah, so.
And this might be a good lesson for SLT. They might learn, hey, we need to go home and do those 1 minute 30-second drills that everyone's always talking about.
So Barline is one of those squads that new name, but a lot of these guys have played for different teams. Remember Texas Phalanx?
Yeah.
So some of these guys from Texas Phalanx, the local squad. Here comes a big move. So SLT trying to tie this one up. They got 30 seconds to do it here in the closing. Still one body to shoot here in the snake. And the snake player here might be modeling again is just tearing people up. I don't think it's going to be enough. They have 28 seconds left. There's still one body in the back corner bunker. And they should be able to tie it up. We're going to have our first overtime match.
That did not take long.
In set 1. No, it did not. I hope that's how the rest of it's going to go.
Guys, just so you know, we don't charge any extra for the overtime matches. They're included in your package, so just enjoy. Just enjoy. We might be seeing a lot of them today.
I hope that's how the whole year goes. I mean, blowouts make the schedule run fast, but they're just really boring to watch. Yeah, so with just 2 seconds left to go, so they'll burn that time off and jump into an overtime point here. But yeah, that is just, if you're Barline right now, you're going back and shaking your head. Now's when you really need to stay composed in the pits because you just got a really terrible start.
What just happened?
They couldn't even get 5 bodies out to start a point that they were up by 1 with only a minute 27 seconds left. I mean, that is just inexcusable.
Yeah.
So yeah, started with 4, and then even on the start, even they didn't get that body out, and then they also looked completely disorganized on the start.
Yeah. Lost one really quickly after that.
Yeah, we're in the pits, so there's Barline Blanco. Yeah, they're just shaking their heads. Look at that looks of frustration here, knowing they threw that point away. But this is when you got to refocus, stay composed. It goes back to 0-0 essentially as we head into the overtime point. There's going to be 5 more minutes on the clock, and then just make sure you get your 5 guys out. You have a good game plan, and everyone's on the same page.
And as a reminder, in overtime, the first team to score a point wins the 5 minutes. So
I appreciate you. I forgot about that. So
it's a team effort, Matt. It's a team effort, bro.
I'm glad you're doing all the heavy lifting for us this morning.
So both teams will go out there have 5 minutes, and this is one of those points where you'll see a little bit of a slower pace point probably because neither one of the teams wants to make a mistake. Excuse me. Referees are now taking their goggles off. And cleaning the field.
Oh, did we have the score off? Did we have the score off?
Or maybe they're not doing overtime.
Or did they just have ties?
Yeah, because there's two different teams out on the field now.
Well, I guess
Maybe it's just a tie. So again,
a giant bummer.
Guys, Matthew and I don't know very much about paintball, so there's a lot of things that are going to be happening this weekend that we're going to call wrong.
When we get to divisionals, it's on Sunday afternoon.
Yeah.
This is a first time for us
So,
as well too. It looked like we got a tie. That's hugely unfortunate for both. Well, for Barline,
we were looking forward to it.
Win. I was really hoping to see an overtime point. It looks like we're going to be heading into the next set. One of the favorites in D2 is out here. Dead Rabbits, done real well in the MVPS down in out of Florida, but they're playing Austin Notorious. So this should be a really fun match. Also in this set here, D2, Cartel Kids and Houston Zone, team that has had some success as well. So there is the schedule here for Friday's competition.
Cartel
First
Kids.
day of the 2021 Lone Star Amateur Open, the start of the NXL season. I'm Matty Marshall with Rich Telford, and we'll be back.
Seconds. 20 seconds. 10 seconds.
So welcome back here, 2021 NXL Lone Star Amateur Open. Dead Rabbits taking on Austin Notorious. Rich, this should be a pretty good one.
Should be a bloodbath. Let's see if Marky Franz can get that kill. Fell over this way. There's a little shot, Matty, when you break out of both sides where you can do that cross shot, kind of like jousting. And I think he's going to be one of the guys that's better at this. So let's see if that comes into play. But this is one of those fields where it hasn't happened yet, but you can lose 3 guys just shooting on the break from that center pocket.
Yeah, I mean, we're expecting big things out of Notorious. Obviously, with what they did 2 weekends ago, beating Revo. But the Dead Rabbits are pretty good, man. I've seen the Dead Rabbits play down at the MVPS. They've won some of those events.
Where are they from?
From Florida.
That's right. Florida and Texas are definitely the hotbeds of paintball right now.
Dead Rabbits getting a little bit of a bad start here.
So did Notorious. The other field went off the same right before that. So both teams got a bad breakout.
Yeah, I had Keegan. So it looks like Galvin's going to try to get out wide here. Bad start for Notorious. They initially getting 5 bodies alive to start this one, but then losing 2 real quick on fills.
That's Robert Heward who stayed alive for, remember, all those games in Virginia on that D side. He was like the rock over there.
Yeah, so Marky's going to reposition out to that D side. Yeah, I had, remember Keegan Lauder?
Yep.
Had him on the show on Monday, Tuesday. And he was a great interview, man. He's got a big chip on his shoulder. He's pretty funny. But Lauder trying to fill here, getting clipped out. So, yeah, so even though it's a terrible break, but that's what I'm saying. The Dead Rabbits, these guys can play paintball, man. They're real good.
Don't take them lightly. Marky is over there attacking the drill side, but it's a 2-on-4, and there's no one on the snake side now, so he kind of filled the wrong way.
Pino's in a really great spot here, no one in front of him with that death of Lauder.
Yeah, once he figures it out, he can start wrapping and putting some pressure on the two guys on the 5 side.
The Dead Rabbits need to talk it up a little bit here. I mean, they should know each one of these kills has been pretty easy to spot. 2 of them did die at the same time early on, so that may be where a little miscommunication is. But Pino has this whole side completely blown open, can kind of do whatever he wants over here.
Yeah, he's just not sure yet, man. Like we said, this is the first time both of these teams have actually played this field. What, did Dead Rabbits drop a few more players, buddy? I only see 2
you know what?
players.
Dead Rabbits might have lost. Yeah, Dead Rabbits.
I see 2.
Well, they also got a bad start. We've been watching all the bodies fly off. So oh, look at this, though. So just when we think it's going to be absolutely terrible for Notorious, it looks like they're able to turn the table. So these last 2 players, Edwards and Marky Franz, I think is still alive.
Edwards
they must have shot
huge.
some bodies because Dead Rabbits went from having a real good being in a real good situation. I think it might be a 1-on-2 here.
1-on-2. Yeah, it was a 2-on-2. Marky got shot. Now it's a 1-on-2 with Edwards against 2 players left alive for the Dead Rabbits.
Yeah, it is a 2-on-1 right now, like you were saying. So the Dead Rabbits trying to close this first point out. But yeah, they did lose a couple bodies here needlessly. But first point, looks like they should still be able to get those because Edwards is in a really bad spot.
Yeah, too bad Marky couldn't stay alive. That would have been a really good 2-on-2 point there. Great first point for the Dead Rabbits.
Well, I'd have to say, Marky's a good paintball player, and he continues to improve, but this 2 weekends in a row, yeah, that death that he had right there in that 2-on-2.
Huge.
He also had a couple deaths. They only had 5 guys, and everyone's going to get shot playing paintball, but I feel like he just needs to tighten up just a little bit, you know?
And it seems like he has a lot of lives out there, too, so I'm surprised that he's dying early sometimes.
Yeah, so, but again, man, you know, this D2 here, and I don't want to knock these guys too hard, but D2 is the highest level we're going to see at this competition, so they're going to be getting a little more harsh criticism than some of the other guys. But
you know, if it's cold like this, they're probably all going to be getting some harsh criticism until it warms up.
We got a grumpy Rich Delford over here.
Ooh.
Dude, you're from Modesto.
Oh, I got stood up last night too.
Did you really?
Yeah, Alan from Energy. He's like, "Hey, Rich, I'd like to come out and take you out to a nice romantic dinner." You know, roll around. All of a sudden, oh. The planes are all messed up. I can't take you to romantic dinner. I'm like, oh sure, Alan, whatever. I was all dressed up.
The planes are messed up.
Yeah.
Honestly, I was flying in last night, and it was like
the planes were fine.
It was like landing on glass, man. Everything was gorgeous out here. You know,
Mine was rocky coming in. Mine was rocky coming in.
Well, you had to come through. You had a couple days. You just came through the storm. All the tornadoes that hit the south.
I love it when they're like, flight attendants, please strap yourself in because we're probably going to crash. Oh, is this over the main lane?
Anytime you hear the, we're going to ask
jump
the
seats,
flight
jump
attendants
seats
to take their seats. That's when you know you're in for Mr. Toad's Wild Ride.
Here we go. Cartel Kids, Houston zone. Man, there's 2 fields right next to each other, and the other field's buzzer is going off. And man, when they're close, it's hard to tell the difference between the 2 fields. Cartel's Kids, they from Seattle?
Gig Harbor, Washington.
Okay, Seattle.
But I'm assuming they have guys from kind of all over the areas.
Yeah.
Most likely there's some Seattle guys on that squad, but jumping into this one, Houston zone in the black, going to be on the right-hand side. Losing a body early here, Cartel Kids looking over their shoulders to start things out.
Yeah, big attempted fill up the middle and got destroyed.
And body walking off for Cartel Kids, so it should be a 4-on-4 situation here. Kroon in good position into Snake 2. Might have got a kill cross field, but it looks like not able to get the kill through that zone as the Cartel Kids able to dive into D2. Now making a move up the center of the field to get to the tower. But Rich, still no one in the Snake right now for the Cartel Kids.
No, and Kroon's playing like he's got a mirror or someone in the Snake ahead of him stopping him. If there's no one in the Snake in front of you, Kroon, go forward. Get those kills. It's so much easier from their side of the field.
1,000%. When you walk the field, 2 big things you really need to concern yourself with if you're one on the Snake side in different situations. If no one's in front of me, but I do have pressure pushing at me from the D side, certain angles, how do I move my way up the field? And then vice versa. If there's no one on the D side, they don't have much penetration, but I do have a lot of pressure coming at me straight ahead, what do I do to move up the field?
Exactly.
The principle here is you still got to move up the field. That's your job.
That's
you're
your
the first
job.
to stand attack.
If you're the one, you go forward, you apply as much pressure on the guys in front of you and the guys across the field as you possibly can. You draw as many guns as you can. Laying down in the back of the snake is not going to do what you need to do.
Now Kroon's doing like a little tactical retreat here back to snake 1 as his teammates are pushing up on the D side and doing the heavy lifting over there. So hey, he's alive. So that's step 1 achieved.
Yes, he's hiding very well.
So now he's going to go back here and call the snake 2. He's definitely playing this section very conservatively, but very smartly. But I would like him to find a way to get into this to move up the field, because
their Dorito side just won the game.
Yeah, their Dorito side is just demolishing cartel kids.
And Kroon's played it well if he was the island over here, right? If he didn't have another guy backing him up, and if he had 2 or 3 guys in front of him, he just played like he was the only one on the field over here, and like there was 3 guys ahead of him.
I mean, hey, he didn't die. He played it smart, and they won the point. However, there were opportunities for him to move up, because though he was taking some pressure from the D side, it was still relatively far away and not that far up the field, and there was no one in front of him, and he had back guys. Everything was in a good situation for him to take that 50 section. Instead, the D side front players were like, you know what, I got this, bro. Don't even worry about it. You just hang out. I know it's a little early. I'm going to move up the field and shoot everybody.
He had nothing but opportunity in front of him. He chose not to take that opportunity.
Yeah, still very, it was a good point here to start things out against zone. And the glare not as bad right now, but still a little bit of an issue.
Yeah, as long as you can still see shadows out there, you know it's somewhat of an issue, but not as bad as it used to be.
Yeah, it was definitely really bad in that first game.
You're not staring directly into the sun.
You can see a little bit instead of not being able to see it all. So, Dead Rabbits up by 1 over one of the favorites here, Austin Notorious. So the Dead Rabbits, very successful in D3.
MSVP.
They won 5 events in a D3 and then went into D2.
That's when it's time to go.
Yeah, they're good, man. I was very impressed with how the Dead Rabbits played at the MVPS that I got to watch them play.
We've seen them on the finals field.
And we've seen them on the finals field. Great name, too.
Yeah. Great jerseys.
I love when we get I mean, I don't mind the acronyms, but, you know, Dead Rabbits, solid paintball name. Looking over the shoulders of the Dead Rabbits here.
Oh, terrible start for the snake player from Dead Rabbits. Did you see that? Yeah. He was lost in time there for a second.
A little bit of a pause there, but hey, he made it in clean.
Yeah.
Pino.
Secondary behind him. He goes right to the 40, looks outside, looks to go forward. I like that. He saw his mirror in front of him.
Yeah, and he realized that there was no penetration on that D side yet, which is where the angles he really needs to worry about. Now he's feeling a lot of pressure, and he's just playing smart in there, but he's playing down the tape. Keeping that outside contained, very important. But 5 alive for the Dead Rabbits. Not much penetration, not much ground taken on that D side. Now they're going to move up in the center of the field.
That center's rough, Maddie. When that snake looks inside like that, you don't see him until you're almost in the bunker.
Yeah, Pino had a good spot right now. 40-yard line wedge. Still keeping that outside contained. No one's putting any pressure. I mean, there is a back player for Notorious out in that back corner bunker, and they have a player in the snake, but everyone was looking inside, and that allows Pino to get right to the 50-yard line. Can he get a kill from here? That's the question. Now the D side needs to help him by following him up.
Yeah, he did exactly what you tell him all not to do, Maddie. You tell him all not to hit that bunker. As soon as you rocked up there, you hit that bunker.
And then another body coming off. 2 more bodies, 3 bodies coming off for the Dead Rabbits. So terrible survivability here midway through this second point. And that's going to give Austin Notorious with Galvin over here on the snake side.
It's either 4-on-2 or 5-on-2, Maddie. I see 4, but I feel like there's another body. Dead Rabbits is no play. Only 1 body left alive for the Dead Rabbits. It's that center tower. Marky Franz sees him, starts sharking. Might not have enough time to get there. Nope, he's already been eliminated.
Yeah, Galvin moves up here, snake side, and ends up getting that kill. So that
FSU
was,
5. Much better point there for them.
Yeah, Lauder and Galvin here, snake side. Really just a bit of a gift, though, given to them. I mean, they earned it, and then they shot those bodies. I didn't see a penalty. Did you see a penalty out there? Yeah,
she kind of signaled like she was going to penalize the guy, but just pulled him out.
Yeah, it's 3 bodies essentially walking off at the same time for the Dead Rabbits, even though they
snake,
had
2 Dorito.
Yeah, and Pino was at the 50-yard line. He has bodies behind him. They had real good field position, but just bad survivability midway through that point. Some great gunfight wins for the Austin Notorious boys to tie this one up here 1-1.
When Pino was kind of up there by himself, he didn't really have anybody behind him to protect him, so it made him vulnerable.
Yeah, I mean, he was quite a ways away from
the next player.
But that's always one of those questions, too, because this is a blind layout. How close do you want to be, depending on the game plan and where you're stacking the bodies, but how close do you want to be to your front player?
I want you to be really close to me, Matt.
Yeah,
I want you to be as close
as
possible.
But it's
if you could be standing over me, that would be ideal.
But the first section of the snake, terrible to be protector from because it's inset.
Right, you can't
and
see
the bunkers are tiny, so you're not going to be gunfighting anybody from that spot.
Nope.
Ideally, if you can get, I think getting into the little mini wall here.
Yep.
that bunker, because it's out wide, you can keep outside contained, you can pop the top a little bit on it and shoot inside. I feel like that's the place to be when you do get a body into the 50, because then you can react a little bit more quickly, or out wide on the in the back spot. But you do not want to be in Snake 1 or Snake 2.
There's no reason to stop that.
When your player is at the 50-yard line structure. So now jumping into the next one, Cartel Kids going to be here on the right-hand side of your screen, losing a body early. And so Houston's zone looks like they are also losing a body from the Snake and one on the D side as well. So it is a 3-on-4 here in favor of the Cartel Kids.
Yeah, there's nothing in the middle of this field, Maddie. So there's a potential for, you know, shooting, like we talked about earlier, 2 or 3 guys on points, on the break some points. This apparently is one of those points. Bodies walking off all over the place from both fields. Zoneless, there's another player now. They've got one in the Dorito can over there. As Cartel's now attacking that Dorito side. They've still got 4 bodies left alive.
Yeah, the Snake side is just barren right now for Houston zone.
Yeah. Well, I don't think that Cartel Kids know that, because they've got 2 guns locking the Snake side off, and there's nobody going there.
And Rich, they're talking it up. It's not like they're not communicating, but
they're just getting bad information.
This player in the back corner bunker here for Cartel Kids, he needs to get up the field, because
Giddy up and go.
They're doing work on the D side. They have taken ground. They're now all the way up into the 50-yard line and in the center. So this dude's got to get it going over here on the Snake side.
I think the only player on the other team, though, in that can, Maddie, is actually shooting at him. I think he's the only one that's getting shot at right now. Is the guy in that corner. Because his bunker's getting riddled. I only see 1 player over there for Houston zone, and he's pointing at that bunker. So I think it's like a 4-on-1.
And I'm not telling him to run into a gun.
Run into the gun, bro.
Those are the next. That's the next one of the next moves. But
for sure.
It looks like, hey, a guy, he's been saying, and now
there must be another guy out there we're missing.
Well, Cartel Kids trying to get past the 50-yard line in the center field. He gets chopped up, and then still
4-on-1, or sorry, 3-on-1 now, or 3-on-2 maybe. Advantage for Kids. Although, man, the Cartel Kids over here in this corner, I think it's Morrison, number 12, could definitely fly down this tape and change the perspective on this game considerably.
Yeah, I mean, he's still just out on an island in this back corner, so he definitely doesn't want to die over there, and he has been getting shot at from that center can the entire point. That center can is pretty much only looked at.
I know, I'm like, you think somebody else would be able to do something with that guy only looking at that corner. Cartel guys talking it up, trying to figure out how to get past these guns. Oh, another player taking a walk there for the zone. That was the second zone player. He's in the home position.
Yeah, so it's getting worse here for Houston zone there, as you can see the moves being made here, taking off on the D side here for the Cartel Kids. So now the back corner player for Cartel Kids has moved up.
So yeah, they're only calling kill 2, Maddie. They're just off on their kill count. Once they figure it out, it's kill 4. Probably go a little faster. Oh.
Well, I don't mind the fact that they were being extra careful, because they were down by 1.
Of course, yeah.
And they were up bodies. They didn't know how many bodies they were up. And
better be safe.
Better safe than sorry, absolutely. So now going to be tying this game up here as long as this player's clean. So this was that back corner player. Looks like he is going to be good to go. So 1-1's going to be the score.
Both of these matches looking good so far. Back and forth action. There's Dan Perez down there. Hi, Dan Perez.
Okay, Dead Rabbits tied up right now with Austin Notorious. 11 minutes and 6 seconds to go. It was a good last point from Notorious to get it back.
Full control, right? They were kind of in control the whole time.
Well played by Galvin and Lauder here on the Snake side. But what was good about Notorious is they were getting contributions from everybody a couple weekends ago.
Yeah, for sure.
So, and they, when I was talking to Lauder on a show, they're still running with a pretty thin line. I was hoping they would have 7. He still couldn't even confirm, this was on Tuesday, so exactly what the roster was going to be.
And so when I went back and worked with him, that was one of the challenges I tried to help him address, is the fact that you need to have the same players playing with the same team, like the same 5, 6, 7, 8 guys over and over again. They've got a large program of 30 players, and they mix the players in and out of the program, and they assume that they're going to have the same kind of teamwork as they would if they were all playing together, but that's just not the case. Dead Rabbits lose their first attack on the Snake side.
Penalty assessed right now as Lauder getting pulled out. So Lauder gets shot, penalty pulled. Marky Franz, so tough break here for Austin Notorious, as they did shoot a body on the break.
And they are up in the 45 Snake.
So this is someone else wearing Marky Franz's jersey. This must be one of the new pickups.
Yeah.
If you
He's about to make Marky look real good.
If you want your own glory, wear your own jersey.
Dude, I put 10 Rich Telvers on the field every time I play. Anybody does anything good, I'm taking credit.
If you want to get extra paintball famous, have everyone wear your jersey.
It's just common sense. Oh, here comes the flag on. Oh, yeah, that was a bad one. He got shot in the hopper, immediately stuck his hopper into the bunker, and the referee's like, hey, bro, you're not going to get away with that with me out here.
Just when it was looking pretty good for the Dead Rabbits as a penalty was thrown on Notorious, they get their own penalty.
Yeah, I think it's a 3-on-1 now,
and
Matty.
because this last player left alive over here for Notorious is going to clean things up on the Snake side, getting that crossfield kill. And Notorious is now going to go up by 1 point. Did not look good for them to start things out with that penalty, but this is kind of like that first point. They're doing a good job of getting kills out of their bunkers. That's keeping them in this match right now and now giving them the lead.
And the thing that hurt the Dead Rabbits there is once they lost their first attacker on the Snake side, Matty, they went to their 0 offense mode and just sat back and allowed the Notorious player to get all the way up to the 50 Snake, shoot across the field, get a couple kills, and get right back in the match.
I do like how even so far this field is playing. We've seen big moves on the D side,
Yeah.
moves on the Snake side. Survivability off the break has been
Also, lots of kills on the break.
Iffy.
You can do either. You can live with 5 if you just run, but if you stay and shoot, you can trade.
It's not one of those fields yet where we're like, hey guys, blatantly obvious what you're supposed to be doing here. Power down the D side, power down the Snake. No, this field's pretty balanced. Haven't seen a ton of stuff through the middle. Seen some guys get chewed up, trying to make some big moves through the middle of the field. So that remains to be seen as we move our way through this first NXL tournament of the year. How potent is the middle going to be? Right now, D side and Snake side pretty potent.
Yeah, as I was talking to teams yesterday, a lot of teams were looking at the middle, and a lot of teams were looking at all the things they could do at the middle. But to me, when you have a field that's so dominant on both tapes, and you can move down both tapes so easily, the middle just gets lost.
Obviously, you want to have those options, especially when you get deeper in the tournament, and those guns and attention will be shifting out towards the sidelines. But yeah, right now the middle is a little bit of a wasteland. So jumping back to this next one, tied up Cartel Kids, Houston zone.
Snake 2 for Cartel Kids, Houston zone, 4 across the back, 1 in the 3-1. A little bit of a defensive mode for Houston zone. Cartel Kids, a little more offensive here, 1-1. Any time left in this match. Oh, Houston zone loses their first attack on the 3 side, immediately fill the bunker. Always got a question when you see your buddy get shot out, you jump in the same bunker you just got shot out of. You got to assume that maybe you're a better player than he is.
Oh, they're going to try to move up to the tower, but getting eaten up there from that Snake.
Yeah, to me, Matty, we keep seeing guys trying to move up the middle, secondary in the game, and getting chopped up from tapes.
Well, here's the big issue, and then another kill coming from that same angle. It doesn't really look like you can be moving up the center of the field, just watching it right now, if you don't have, so Kroon going to the back corner bunker and then slow playing it, and maybe, again, that's the game plan, don't risk anything early, but they allow Cartel Kids to get into the Snake. Now, all those kills are coming from this, out of the center of the field, from the Snake side, and this has been easy work for Cartel Kids because absolutely no pressure here on the Snake player. See who that was, Hunter? Yeah, so I mean, Hunter just clocked in, went to work, and got himself, I think, at least a 2-pack, maybe a 3-pack from that Snake to put the Cartel Kids up by 1.
Yeah, well, what was his name in the corner? I forgot.
Kroon?
Kroon, yeah. If you're the one and you're on the Snake side, you should probably never be the last guy left alive, right? If you're the last guy left alive, again, unless your coach is like, hey, go hide over there. If your coach tells you to go hide, that's appropriate.
Yeah.
But if your coach doesn't tell you to hide, and you get up out of Snake 1, you're like, oh, where's the rest of my team? You probably didn't put enough pressure on the other players, and they probably shot your whole team out.
Well, even though it's early and it was a blind layout release,
No,
the Snake
I
side's
want no excuses, man.
No, I'm just saying the Snake side's pretty massive, and we have seen, look at what just happened in that point. So, yeah, you have to have some offense on this Snake side. And so far, it does look like, Kroon went in that first point and played between D1 and D2, and the play developed on the D side. And then this time, again, if the game plan was to go to that back corner bunker and chill out there for a bit, I get it. But, they let the Cartel Kids with Hunter get into the Snake and do all the work. He wasn't feeling any pressure at all. They didn't have any penetration on the D side. And, it looked like their attack was up the center, and I don't like that move right now. So jumping back in, Notorious up by 1 of the Dead Rabbits in the camo jerseys, losing 3 bodies early and a major penalty. Disastrous here as that is going to be the fastest
2 points in a row.
Fastest point that we have seen so far here at this tournament.
Assuming FSU figures it out.
Yeah, I mean, everyone's dead, and unless somebody steps on a landmine over there, this point is just going to be the easiest point scored so far this weekend.
Yeah, if you lose 2 and then you get a 3 for 1, you're in trouble. And that's 2 points in a row where the Rabbits have gone out and decided to make not decided, but unfortunately made a bad decision and then cost themselves.
Well, they're coming off right now. Cruz, Pino stopping, they're having a conversation. At least they're not yelling at each other, so that's good to see. But in Kane, and these are guys that have been on the Dead Rabbits for a while, recognize these names from the MVPS and their performances previously. This is a good team, but they're just kind of grinding their gears a little bit here. They're playing one of the favorites out here. I think the Dead Rabbits are also one of the favorites out here.
For sure.
They still have some time left, but now they're down by 2, but these mental mistakes are really costing them. They're losing gunfights needlessly out of their spots early on. They're getting penalties. Actually, one of their players right now, Johnson's talking to the ref, maybe not liking that call.
It's like, so you're saying when I get shot, I just have to quit playing altogether? Like I can't shoot at all, like until the next point?
That was a wound. If this was real war, I would be able to use my other arm.
Have you not watched Rambo? You not know how this goes down? That's just how I get mad.
Yeah, it's still out there talking to the referee.
I would
Looks
be
like
too.
a pretty calm conversation. So if you guys are joining us here on Facebook or YouTube, please head on over to GoSports.com. As we are watching 2 of the favorites, we're going to see more of Notorious and the Dead Rabbits and the other best teams from D2 here this afternoon. So we're going to all D2 matchups this afternoon. We're alternating between D4 and D2 today. But yeah, some of the best paintball players here in Texas for the NXL, well, just period in the United States.
In the
Divisional, will be throwing down this afternoon. So definitely head on over to Go Sport. Thank you guys so much for your support.
And tell your friends.
Trying to bring you guys the best paintball broadcast in the business, but again, we do need your support to do that. It will be my constant plea because it's just the truth. 8 minutes and 47 seconds left to go. 1 point lead right now for the Cartel Kids. And do we have a timeout? No, clock is running.
Yeah, I think there was I think they're going to cut that timeout because I think it was a referee timeout. I think they were cleaning the bunkers or something.
Or arguing still with the Dead Rabbits.
Well, you know what? He just didn't want to go in the dead box because he's like, man, I got to go to the pit, man. They're going to be like, what'd you get that 3-4 for, bro? If I can stay out here until the next point.
I talked to the referee,
maybe
said it was their bad. Did he really say that, or are you just making that? He said it was their bad.
Look, I don't want to talk about it, but yeah, it was a mistake. Mistakes were made.
But let's forget about that and refocus on
Let's
the next
move on.
one.
God.
Why you
Beating
beating
a dead horse.
Jinx.
Ooh, big move up the center now. And I think that's the time you can get there, Matty. I think if you go on the break, you can get up to the center. I think if you try to secondary after the snake or the drills are hot, you're going to have a hard time. Well, let's see if you can make his shot on the snake.
Well, I'd like Rich that Houston zone now more attention here towards the snake. They send a body there off the break and he goes immediately into D2. However, though, Cartel Kids with a really big bite all the way to the brick and playing this one aggressive. Hunter into snake 1. But with this big move up the center of the field this early, should shift some of the guns and take some pressure off of Hunter. Hunter should be able to move up here, and he's kind of looking like that's what he wants to do.
I hope so. He started off with the inside.
Well, he's looking inside, but Hunter's been proactive in here. He's inside, he's now outside, and he's putting the guy in, making the move himself, and then now getting up into snake 3. And yeah, I like how Hunter's
he gets the kill
this.
too. He just gets the kill gun and go inside that drill, Matty.
Yeah, Hunter is being very proactive in this snake. He had an outstanding point in the last one, and again with the big move, take advantage of what your teammates are doing.
Houston zone drops another player from the snake side now. 2 players on the snake side left alive. Oh, so Cartel loses that player that was all the way to the center, Matty.
That's a untimely death for him, but Hunter now going to try to roll the dice and going to run down untouched. Hunter might be getting a little 2-pack run through here for the Cartel Kids.
Gets them both. Nice job, Hunter.
Yeah, I really like what Hunter's been doing here for the Cartel Kids. They're up by 1. Looks like they might be going up by 2. I don't see any bodies left alive. I think Hunter with those last couple kills, but they're just being safe.
Yeah, 3-on-0, but communication's off a little bit, so not sure if he got them both. Got a little bit of lead, so there's no initiative to run down the field.
Yeah, and with the fact that the center hasn't been that potent so far.
The center sucks, man.
Yeah, the center does suck.
Well,
we saw.
If you get there early, right?
Okay, well, I was going to say, we just saw someone make a good move up the center. He did die,
Yep.
but he was able to make it up there and become an important part of the attack.
Yep.
But my point is because there's not a ton of spots that we're seeing guys get to, and the center are kind of waiting a little bit, staying back in the home position while their front players are filtering up. It makes cross-field communication really tough, and it makes it hard to keep that kill count as concise as you normally would if there was a little bit more of an easier bunker to get up there to maintain the flow of communication cross-field.
Yeah, with all the big bunkers in the middle and on that 50, it just cuts out so much of your vision depending on what spot you're on the field. You can maybe only see 2 or 3 spots, So you really rely on that communication to come across to you to fill in the blanks that you can't see for yourself.
Yeah, that's when you really hope that either, you know how some people just have those like characteristically incredibly loud voices. You know, the Dave Baines is the Yosh Rouse. That you can distinctively hear. Even Oliver, even though he didn't have like a baritone voice, Oliver's got a higher voice. Yeah. But you could hear everything that he said all the way across the field. It's a big deal. So on a field layout like this, if you're listening out here, guys, playing this for the rest of the weekend, you need to be, if you're in a situation when you don't need to, you can disclose your position, which is most of the time in the snake, you need to get loud in there. You need to be a big part of the communication, even as that first attacker. And that's not typically what the first attackers are best at.
No, and it's a timing thing, right? If 3 or 4 guns are on you and you really can't gunfight, you really can't, mark the front shot of the break for FSU. FSU attacking the snake. Oh, and losing their second player attacking the snake there. That's too bad. FSU down to 3 bodies left alive against 5 players.
Yeah, they do have a 2-point lead, but 9 minutes and 16 seconds left. And, do you see any bodies coming off right now?
No, it's 5 on 3, and Lauder needs to figure out that there's no one on the snake side and get back over here before they move up. He's got one in the snake corner. He's about to fill. Dead Rabbit's fill from the snake corner to the snake 3.
Yeah, and there's nobody on the snake side. Lauder is inside, and he's looking that way, but it's going to be tough for him to really hold things down from that center can. He's really going to be up to the D side to see if they can start to present some offense. So they know that. Starting to move up. Here comes Edwards, and he gets to the 50-yard line alive. No, he actually gets clipped trying to make it in. So Lauder going to try to roll the dice. He moves up, and he's just in a really tough spot right now, but they don't really know where he is. I mean, he is up on that spot and moving that bunker around, and it's the tallest bunker on the field, so they should be able to see it and really know where he is.
Although it is kind of windy out here, so some of the bunkers are moving on their own.
Yeah, it is.
They're everywhere, bro.
It does make it a little harder when it is gusty out there.
Especially on the tall towers.
Is there a guy over in the tower or not? I can't really tell.
Ooh, this is a position I want to see the whole time. Oh, yeah. Can't live there with that 50 Dorito, but if you can get there before the Dorito's hot.
But I like the tendency that he made to make that move. He just didn't know that guy was in that position and ran, unfortunately, into a lane that was already occupied. But still, the tendency to try to create something when you're down on bodies, it's a higher percentage of you actually making that happen than crossing it up and holding it down from those back spots.
For sure. Dead Rabbits are trying to put together, figure out where the last body is for FSU. FSU is just trying to burn as much clock here as they can. They're going to lose this point, but they want to take as much time off the clock as they can before they lose it, so there's not as much time for the Dead Rabbits to come back and score another point in their next outing. Tying this, and that would tie up the match. 7 minutes, 39 seconds left. If Notorious can burn off a couple more minutes, they'll only leave maybe 5 minutes left on the clock, and then you just need to go out there and hide for 5 minutes or go out and win a point either way.
Yeah.
Dead Rabbits need to figure out that there's only one guy out there for them. He's in the Dorito one looking inside, very vulnerable. The snake guy's been telling everybody the whole game.
Well, you see Hubert out there, and it looks like, okay, that's from the other field.
Other field.
Yeah, but right now, I was going to say, it's in Notorious's best interest to just let this one play out. Take it. You have a 2-point lead. Let as much time burn off the clock, because you're still going to have a lead regardless of whether or not you lose this point. But if they can burn, say, another 2-3 minutes off, then who knows? You never know what's going to happen. Maybe another long point, and then the time will be your friend.
Yeah, and Robert, they're repositioning, playing 2 or 3 different bunkers, almost like Malloy, so you never know, is there 2 guys, is there 1 guy? But he was the one guy in Virginia that was consistently staying alive for them over on the Dorito side doing work and pulling out some points. And now he's filling into the snake corner.
Well, and this is great, too, because when you play like a Malloy, so many positions as Hubert Malloy's his way out into the back corner bunker, well, what it does, especially in a layout like this, is it really confuses your opponents.
Yeah, for sure.
Your opponent's like, is there 2 left, 1 left?
Could be
I have
3.
no idea how many bodies we have left alive because I just shot at 3 different spots, and it's all 1 guy.
There's definitely one in the Doritos. There's definitely one in the snake corner.
And there's definitely one in the back spot, yeah.
Which one are you shooting at?
And that's exactly what they're doing right now. The Dead Rabbits are burning clock here.
We must have missed some Dead Rabbits leaving, because I only see 3 of them out there now, man. I see 2 for sure.
Second time in this game, and I think it's Hubert, and just the fact that Notorious, whoever their last couple players are alive, it's been different guys, but typically the D side in the center, is they hold it down, man, in those low body situations, getting a couple kills to keep it close. So I just really like the gunfighting in Notorious. Now on the Dead Rabbit side, when they're in those high body situations, they need to tighten it up a little bit more, because 2 times now we've seen them lose a couple bodies here.
And he was doing a great job of engaging. He's got no paint, so he's just jumping over the top, having him shoot at him, pointing his gun, but he hasn't had any paint for a while, so he's just really living as long as he can. They finally dink him out of there.
He did a great job.
Yeah, but because he was on the Dorito side earlier, they think there's still a guy over the Dorito side, so they're still looking for that Dorito side player.
Yeah, they're going to burn another 20, 30 seconds trying to figure out that there's no bodies left alive. So
and he burned 2 minutes for him, probably.
Yeah, that was an excellent job by Hubert.
Very mature play. Because, yeah, Dead Rabbits have at least 4 bodies left alive. They've got 2 here on the snake side. They've got 1 on the Dorito side, maybe 2 on the Dorito side. Nobody's shooting at them, so they've got to figure out. And they're on the Notorious side of the field, so the fact that they're on the Notorious side of the field and there's no one shooting at them, that should probably indicate to them that there's no one left on the field.
Yeah, the Dead Rabbits need to, when they go back and watch this game later on, need to keep a little bit better communication out here.
And maybe 10% more aggressive, right? Like if no one's shooting at you, you check in with no one's shooting at your buddy, no one's shooting at your other buddy, then hey, maybe we'll go a little earlier. But good point for them there. They shot out the whole Snake side of the field, controlled very well. They definitely could have played more aggressively, but that's, we're all working on what we're working on.
I expected this to be a really good game. I've seen the Dead Rabbits play before. It looks like they have pretty much the same roster, and they were very successful in D3, won lots of tournaments down there, and they moved up to D2, and I like how they play the game. Was very impressed when I went down to Florida, watched the MVPS. So coming in to play Notorious with how well Notorious played just 2 weeks ago, beating Revo, almost winning that tournament, I'm glad that this one's close. This is what I was expecting to see. I know it's early. This is a blind layout. No one got to play this one, so.
And again, what a blind layout means is you have to play blindfolded the whole match. So they blindfold you before you put your goggles on. You have to still put your goggles on for safety. But then, and if you see some sloppy play this weekend, you'll understand why.
Yeah, absolutely. So under 7 minutes to go in this Cartel Kids Houston Zone matchup.
Different matchup here. This one's been mostly Cartel Kids.
Yeah, and Houston Zone, they need more offense on the Snake side.
For sure.
That's been kind of, I feel like, the glaring deficiency for them.
I feel like it's a glaring deficiency for everyone that's not doing well out here.
Yeah, and that D side's massive too, but look, man, when you have a center structure that's as ridiculous as this one is on this layout, on the Snake side, probably would be a good idea to throw a body that's going to make their way up that way.
See Ryan Gray out there with his goggles on talking to the head ref, trying to get some understanding on what's going on there.
I'm a big fan of Ryan Gray. I'm really glad that he has decided to coach Notorious.
Oh, so when I went home, I messaged them both. I told Ryan Gray, I was like, hey, you talk to Mark, you figure it out. Talk to Mark. Mark, talk to Gray, figure it out.
You need Ryan. So now they're going to go right, Houston Zone, going to go right in. So you see our split screen kind of breakout here. And, so they do roll the dice to try to take that spot, but Cartel Kid doing a good job of zone control, shooting that crew, but they lose their body and going to be drawing a penalty.
Yeah, because he tried to hide it.
Yeah, so Swanson getting the penalty, that pulls out his body, or Hunter behind him, and that's a big loss because Hunter has been outstanding for the Cartel Kids.
Yeah,
so,
especially over here on the Snake side.
So there is literally no one on the Snake side here at all for the Cartel Kids right now.
Or for Houston Zone, because they lost their first player. They only sent one guy this way, and they lost him.
The home player needs to get out here. The guy in the back center at the home player for Houston Zone, you can see he wants to do it. He needs to get out here.
He's looking.
Yeah, if the camera pans down slightly, yeah, there he goes.
You see shadow.
Yeah, he needs to keep coming because there's still nobody shooting at him right now.
Houston Zone, attacking up the center of the field, getting a lot of pressure. Looks like he either bounced it off the edge of the bunker, or no, they got him. Yep, Houston Zone loses a player, attacking in the center. They've got 2 players left alive. One in the Snake insert bunker, and one in the Drill 1.
Yeah, it's a little bit of a tough death here, though, as Cartel Kids with the good field position on the D side makes Houston Zone pay for that move up the center.
I don't think he knew he was there, man.
I don't think he did either. I like the move.
I do too.
I like that aggression, and that's good to see, but not exactly the right moment to do it.
Right, and you got to start, you got to take some risks out here. You haven't played the field. You got to figure out what you can get away with, what you can't get away with. You cannot get away with going there if there's a guy in Dorito 4 looking at you.
Yeah, and these teams are going to have to figure the center out. We've seen guys attempt to make these moves secondary and early on. That brick has been a little bit of a paintball magnet so far.
I figured it out almost immediately. Stay away from the center.
I think there's some options out there, but you can't do it without the Snake side.
Yeah,
I mean, every time we see guys go up to that brick so far with no one in the Snake for your team, if that guy's playing a little bit too aggressive, over battling too much, I mean, that's not the play.
Yeah, for sure. If you're winning both tapes, you can go down the center of the field.
Well, I would say both. I would even say just one. But yes, for sure. Yeah, I mean, you should be able to just glide into those bricks if you hold the tapes. The guns are out wide. So right now everyone's trying to figure it out. There's 4:43 to go, but it is up to Houston Zone. Cartel Kids don't really have to do anything because they have such good field position.
Well, and they got that penalty, so they're not looking to run down the field.
But I want to see this player in D3 right now just play smart. Play smart. You know you're out on an island. You know you have a 2-point lead. Your job right now is to just let them shoot at you and burn off.
Stay alive.
And he has a guy inside protecting him, so he should not be able to get run down. Or even if he does get run down, they'll be able to trade that body out. But I mean, this is really the Cartel Kids game to win right now with how things are shaking out.
Yep. I'd like to see that guy in the center tower, Matty, start to fill this way. towards the snake a little bit?
Yes, that would probably be
Because they lost their 2 snake guys over
appropriate.
here.
Yeah, he's just really concerned about watching over his D-side player, but there's no one really close to him right now. He's 3 bunkers away.
Yeah.
But their opponent is 3 bunkers away all the way in D2.
You know how it is when your buddy's like, don't you leave me. You watch over me.
You got me, right? Yeah, I got you.
I
And
don't
you're
care what's going on
then
over
you're
there.
looking, you're like, can I watch him? I need to get out wide, man, but I don't know if I can watch him from over there.
It's the old, like, what's best for the game plan and what's best for my buddy? For us to win, I kind of need to go this way. For me not to get yelled at, I kind of need to stay here.
I think if it was a little bit closer on the score, I think if it was a 1-point match, I'd probably be a little bit more, I think it'd be a little more appropriate for him to maybe try to risk it and move out wide.
Yeah.
But he does have to worry about this player over here on the snake side for Houston zone. He does have outside contain, so he is going to have to win. There's bunkers for him to block out. He could get across to the tower, but that's the guy he's got to worry about. But where is the sense of immediacy for Houston zone? They need 2 to tie, not just 1, and there's 3 minutes and 12 seconds left. They need to start moving up the field.
Nobody shot at this guy. Now they're starting to shoot at the insert Phil bunker over here, but he could have gone down the snake a long time ago.
Yeah, this guy has the ball. When we say the guy in the snake side here in the insert bunker, the Aztec for Houston zone, he has the ball. What does that mean? That means he's the guy that should be moving.
He has to go.
Yeah, he's the guy that has to be moving up the field. Yeah, now under 3 minutes. Again, they need 2 just to tie, and this is always frustrating to see teams in a position like this playing like they just need 1. You have to take extra risk when you're in a position where you need to.
Yeah, and the time to look at the scoreboard is not after you get shot and you're walking off. It's as this point is going on, like, where am I at? How much time do I have left?
Yeah, it's Brewer, and Brewer's on both knees. You know, he doesn't look
Camped
like he
out.
wants to move up, and that's just a little bit of a misread of the situation.
And that falls on Brewer, but also falls on the coach, right? As Brewer's going out there, I'm like, Brewer, this is where we're at. Go ahead.
Well, and then he's going to get shot out of that spot. It also falls on whoever is in inside D1.
Yeah.
Because he has to look at Brewer and say, hey, you got to get going. You know, tell him time.
Yeah.
Hey,
I can't go. You got to go.
He has to protect his front player and be that second attacker over there. Hey, Brewer, it's up to you. Get going down that snake side. And now he's forced to come over this way because Brewer died.
Yeah, and that was a 3-on-2, Matty, I think.
Yeah, I think you're right.
So they have the advantage there, and they got to press the advantage, but Brewer just kind of stalled out over here. Oh, and so does the second guy.
Yeah, Zone's just dropping the ball.
That's that 50 Dorito, Matty. He got that kill earlier on the guy who went up center field. He got the 2 kills out of God, and now it's a 1-on-1. Oh, sloppy from the cartel kid.
Terrible Phil. That's going to open the door slightly.
They're going to get this point. That's it.
Well, they're going to get the point, but the question is,
1-on-1.
No, it's 1-on-1. Maybe they won't get the point. He's got to win this 1-on-1, but if he does, that's going to be a nasty 3-on-1 that he wins. But the cartel kids did burn enough time off this clock, and the guy who was the cartel kid player here on your screen, he needs to just slow play the hell out of this 1-on-1.
I like to call it hiding.
Yeah, that'll work too. Oh, and he's going to just win it straight up. He actually shot him twice. Wow, that was a nicely executed.
Well, Houston
end
Zone
here.
can go back and look at this and understand that they should have won that point. They were in a position to win that point, and how, as a team, they need to win that point.
Again,
because that's not it. 1-on-1.
Brewer over here in a situation like this. Brewer with there's no one on the snake side. There's no one in front of him. He's on an island, but when you look at who could possibly shoot at him, first of all, the tower was completely protecting his.
It was the Dorito
yeah,
only.
it was the
one
Dorito
guy.
only. So he's looking at one gun, and those are the types of variables that you have to be putting together in your head as that's happening. Okay, so what's the game situation? First of all, that's the first thing you need to know. Oh, we're down by 2, and there's not a lot of time left. Okay, so we need 2 points, which means that I need to risk a little bit occasionally in order to try to take ground to get those kills, because we're going to lose regardless. So, in that situation, Brewer, even if he needs to kind of gun up a little bit to put that D side in, to just make that bump across, because once he gets in the snake, he hits the deck, he's completely protected. He's going to be completely blocked out to get into 3. He's going to be blocked out to get in, and he could have had this whole side.
100%.
He could have won that point.
100%, man.
And then you pop up, shoot the guy in the
Look
tower
like a
in the back
superstar.
from the 50-yard line, and then now you're dealing with this. So you can completely ignore that D-side guy you're worried about shooting you from your spot if he had just got through that one little gap.
Yeah, and the first part is understanding, right, Matt? Understanding that that's what you're supposed to do. If you don't understand what you're supposed to do, you're never going to be able to execute it. So first he needs to understand what he's supposed to do, and then he needs to execute it. FSU losing their first snake player again. That's 2 points in a row.
Yeah, so 4 minutes and 34 to go in this one, but a much closer game. Austin Notorious and the Dead Rabbits. Dead Rabbits, if you're just joining us, they're in the camo jerseys on the right-hand side of your screen, looking at Notorious right now on the D side.
Dead Rabbits just fill up to 3-2 on the D side. 5-on-4 advantage for the Dead Rabbits. Down by 1 point with 4:19 left in this match.
So Dead Rabbits in a good spot here with some ground on the snake side. There's no one in front of Pino.
FSU played really, really well in that exhibition match, Matt, a couple weeks ago. They were in a position where they could have won that whole event.
So I don't know why Pino is stopping here at this specific gap. He does have to worry about the inside.
Someone's definitely shooting the front of that bunker here, Matty. I don't know who's got that angle. It might be that tower.
I think it's the
that
tower.
Maybe
Yeah, it's
Marcus
the tower.
Frost, that tower's bouncing paint in on there. So Pino's got to come over the top, put him in and go.
Yeah.
Oh, it looks like he's just going to jump across the gap.
Or he needs to get a guy out behind him.
Yeah, but look, he's going to jump the gap.
Okay, so Pino got across, no problem. And now he should be protected from that gap.
Yes,
and
sir.
again, there's no one down the sideline, so the pressure he's feeling is from the inside part
Yep.
of that bunker. And once he wraps around, he should have a clear lane in. Yeah, see, no problem. And he checks off. I was going to say, okay, check off on the inside, Pino. But once if you don't have any shots there, then get up the field. You need that. Yeah, you have to. So now 3:17 to go. So this is a great job so far from Pino.
Yep.
So he's going to do the same thing. He's going to check off inside.
Yep.
But once he realizes that there's no shots from there, he should know that the tower's hot. And he also should know that he has that. Okay, there he goes. So he hit the deck. He's going to crawl inside. I like that move.
Yep. And the referee's staying away from him.
Now,
not
don't hit the bunker.
No. Oh, he can see it through the hole. Saw him through the hole, Matty.
Marky Franz. That was a good job of Marky Franz to stay with his eyes up, looking at every possible angle on that side, knowing that Pino, down by 1, has to push forward. He might have clipped him.
He thinks he
through
shot
that
him in the
gap,
arm.
and it looks like he's good to go. So Pino's going to do a nice little tactical retreat. I still like how Pino's playing this.
Yeah, of course, man.
But
I'm lucky not to get shot there. He tried to crawl through that gap, got caught. And it happens, you know, like, again, first time playing these fields, you got to learn that stuff.
Yeah.
He can wrap, I think, from right there and put pressure back on Marky.
Pino's doing great, though, because now Marky is completely focused on
100%.
keeping Pino honest, and this is where the play can develop a little bit. Oh, but the Dead Rabbits are going to lose a body. They had 5 bodies alive, but they lose a body out of for the inside of D1. So
And that's one thing FSU does a really good job of, the bending and not breaking.
they really, yeah, Rich, yeah, absolutely, for sure. They've been now 3 different separate occasions when we've seen Notorious kind of be playing on their heels a little bit.
Down on bodies.
But get a couple key kills or a key kill.
They don't have a lot of offense. Like, you know, they're not a super aggressive team, but they just stay alive and pull. Oh, they lose another one in the Drill corner, Matty.
Yeah, that's a tough death out of that back spot. Pretty small bunker. And, man, the Dead Rabbits are doing just a great job of putting a lot of pressure on Notorious. But this is definitely, like you were saying, a bend, don't break moment. Looks like
plenty of time left in this match.
And some good communication. Pino trying to get the angle. Oh, he's going to do a little joust, little snapshot battle here with Marky Franz. Neither one of them able to get the shot. Pino's going to cut back to the inside. He really has to worry about that gap.
Yeah, at least this time he knows. So he's going to try, I think he's going to try to jump across it like he did that last gap.
Yeah, I don't know.
Oh, he got caught in the pat.
See, I mean, hey, I'm not going to knock him. You got to push, but I kind of like him staying on the outside and gunfighting off of his feet but Marky Franz so focused on shooting Pino, which he did, but it cost him his body, and now the Dead Rabbit's trying to blow it open from the D side.
If Pino would have just come to the back, to the tape side of that, Matty, backed up 2 or 3 steps, ran and dove across that gap and slid to the outside of that thing, you know, to hide from there instead of in that gap, he'd have been fine. But he hasn't played the field a bunch.
This is, I really like what we just saw out of the Dead Rabbits to tie it up.
Heck yeah.
Because in a situation where they needed one to tie, but they were playing pretty aggressive. Pino made really no mistakes here on the Snake side. Yeah, he did get shot. That one little inside move, he popped up the top to get the transition. If he's going to go low, make the transition, you have to kind of make that transition from the ground and stay low across, because you know that guy's on that lane. But the best thing about that is Marky Franz was so dedicated to keeping Pino honest over here, and Pino kept coming out at different angles and giving him dotted looks, so we had to get tunnel vision on him. And then the Dead Rabbits with the counterattack on that other side, again, you set it up with just like boxing, man. You set it up with the jab, and the jab sets up overhand right, the overhand right sets up the hook, and we just saw a nicely executed attack there from the Dead Rabbits, and they tie it up.
Back to this next match, Cartel Kids, Houston Zone. Cartel Kids are up by 3 with 1 minute, 3 seconds left. It's going to be challenging for Houston Zone to come back and score 3 or 4 points in this minute, but, you know, the Russians can do it, so.
So you're saying this game's over? I'm never going to let you live that down, by the way.
Good. Add it to the list. Add it to the list, bro. No, I get it. You know, the first time I make a mistake in my life, you have to point it out. I get it. When you finally make a mistake, too, don't worry. I'll be there for you.
I'll try to stay on my toes.
Did you see a Starbucks out here at the field anywhere?
Bro, I got you. You had 2 coffees this morning. I only had 1.
I just need it. Good breakout for both teams. A lot more real estate for Houston Zone, as you would expect.
Listening, Rich, would like a Starbucks delivery. Yeah, so big move here from Houston Zone, trying to make a move up inside to the 50 Snake as they need 3. and he makes it in clean.
I like that breakout, Matt. With those two bricks, you can control the whole field, and I think you can take both of those and break most points.
Well, this is the first situation we've seen a team forced to go to the reckless attack. It does cost the Cartel Kids a body. Two bodies. Or that zone. Sorry, yeah, zone coming off. Yeah, they're not going to do it, but
Cartel's got all 4 back spots and the inset Dorito one.
But both of those moves off the break stayed alive.
Yeah, and you can make both of those, and you can control the field. And if the other team is attacking, those are great positions to be in. Unfortunately, if the other team is zoning up, it doesn't do you a good job to get up in the middle and cross the field. 2 players walking off for Houston zone. Again, they have to attack. There's not a lot of time, so you're going to see some bodies walking off. But this is how you learn how to do this. You might not be able to execute it now, but eventually you're going to need to learn how to play a minute 30-second point.
Yeah, it just was interesting that both of those big moves in the beginning of that point ended up being alive. The players ended up being alive because as the game, or as these games move forward, the tournament moves forward, can teams have come from behind wins? I think maybe, depending on, you know, again, if this was a little bit of a closer match and they only needed one, they only had 20-something seconds to work with, might be a possible. But still, just a well-executed game by the Cartel Kids here against Houston Zone. Going to take that 3-point win, 4-1, the final score.
Now that we know that there's no overtime, this is kind of the overtime point, right?
Pretty much.
Minute left, 3-3. Whoever wins this point is going to win the match. Neither one of these teams, hopefully, will sit back and let the other team, just go to a tie.
Yeah, I think knowing, obviously, you don't want a tie in your record. Tie's better than a loss, but yeah,
it's like a moped.
I think you kind of got to be in a situation where maybe want to roll the dice a little bit here and try to get that victory. Both these teams are favorites here at this tournament to take the whole thing. So,
I mean, that's what they told us. So, it's funny though. Everyone I talked to, man, when we were walking the fields, I'm like, "How you guys doing?" "Oh, you'll see us on Sunday, bro." I'm like, "Oh, I'm not looking for any trouble, man. I'm just asking."
Hey,
write that name down, bro, because you're gonna see us on Sunday.
I like the confidence.
That's what I thought to myself. I'm like, that's the exact right thing you should be saying. Maybe not with all that attitude. FS and Notorious goes to Snake 2 and Dorito 3 with Robert Hero. Their big move on the break.
But this is what I was saying. Roll the dice, right?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I'd rather take the real estate, right, and give yourself a chance to control and win that game. Dead Rabbits lose 2 players over here on the Snake side, Matty. And another guy from the Dorito corner.
Yeah, so the risk really is paying off right now. We talked about, could we see some fast points out of here? Notorious kind of showing us it right now, taking a lot of real estate to try to win this one here. And they're going to leave the towel actually thrown by the Dead Rabbits, which is definitely smart. And
yeah, they could have thrown it 10, 15 seconds ago.
Yeah, leave a little bit of time on this clock, 36 seconds left.
Give them a chance to tie it.
Definitely agree that they could have thrown it maybe when they saw the first 2-3 bodies come on. But still.
Or just a side. If you shoot our side out, like the Snake side or the Dorito side, I'm going to have to go ahead and concede it, guys.
But we were just talking about this, right? If you consider yourselves a favorite,
and I do.
I really think that was just a really good look here from Notorious. They took a lot of ground. It was a very aggressive breakout in a tense moment because, you know, you take a big breakout, you take a lot of real estate. It is much easier for you to get shot. But the Dead Rabbits, who have been good at shooting bodies on the break, not able to capitalize on those opportunities.
Well, and because they're a little slow on their offense, it gives FSU more emphasis to get up to those 50s. So when they do attack a little bit later in the game, they're already in those positions.
Well, the one thing that I would have to say, so that you go to these southern tournaments, MVPS, Florida, and they have what they call the Dirty South defense down there.
Yeah.
Where, you know, they try to be really smart, get 5 bodies alive, and then work their way up the field.
Damage ball?
Yeah, exactly. And I love that. But only in certain situations, you know, and whereas
only when it works.
The Texans are a little bit more reckless historically. A
little more aggressive.
Typically, I mean, obviously you could argue this with depending on what team and what era we're talking about, but, you know, going down there and having the guys from Florida being like, "Oh, Matty, Dirty South D, baby, that's where it's at." Like, you know, we play smart paintball, we can unloose the dragon when we need to, and I'm like, okay, cool. But in a situation like that, the Texans really stepping up here, taking that ground, and it worked out very well for them. So now again, anytime we have one game in, 2 minutes in between, so minute 30 to go. And a slight 1-point lead, but just 36 seconds left. So now the Dead Rabbits going to be forced to run into these guns.
Run into the guns. Yeah, I mean, flying V, right?
You got to.
Send 2 outside, 3 at the gut, hope for the best.
Staggered attack, reckless attack.
Don't get a red.
Yeah, keep the penalty away, but give yourself an opportunity to try to tie this one up and at least get that tie.
To me as a coach, I'm looking at this as like, listen, we already lost this match. It's 4-3 with a minute left. We screwed up. So now let's try to just play this point really, really well. Execute, whether we win it or lose it, just execute the play well. If we tie it up, great. If we don't, then we know, what we got to do.
Yeah, but still not a bad look for Dead Rabbits.
No, man.
20 seconds.
It's also tough if you're either Notorious or the Dead Rabbits to look at your schedule with a little bit of the glare is pretty much gone now, but you know it's cold. You got the glare in your face when you're gonna be on the side of the field. You're playing another one of the favorites. It's kind of a big test right out the gate for game number 1.
Yeah, and the only criticism I would have on the Dead Rabbits, it's not, you know, big criticism, is I think a little more aggressiveness, you know, not just snake side, but along the field. It seems like if they lose a couple bodies, they lose that offensive posture.
Let's go back to what the Dead Rabbits did really well to get this one close, right? To tie it up. Pino played amazing over here on the snake side. Their D side closed the door when the gun shifted towards Pino. That's what I would like to see more consistently out of the Dead Rabbits a little more often.
Right.
Because it's there. I mean, they obviously have the skills to do it. They displayed some amazing aggressive skills when they needed to do it. Now they're going to have to do the same thing here. Time taking off the clock here. 30 seconds to go. Pino in a good spot, though, and they're also taking the ground in the center. But Pino...
But you know, right where he went and right where that second guy went in the snake, I think you can take those on the break, man.
I think so, too. And it looks like they're going to be losing Kane as well.
47, yeah.
Yeah, so Kane coming off, but hey, not knocking anyone for pushing the guns right now. That's what they have to do.
Yeah,
so
30 seconds left.
Yeah, they're going to Marky Franz coming off. The guy wearing Marky Franz's other jersey is still alive over here on the snake side.
That's little Marky Franz.
Little Mark. Isn't Marky Little Mark?
Yes, that's little Mark.
Little Mark the third?
Yes. Tiny Mark.
Little Mark the second? We'll figure it out. So that is going to do it here.
Mark is like, the more people I can get to wear my jerseys, the more my brand will grow.
He's not wrong.
No, he's not wrong. The math supports him.
So congratulations to Austin Notorious winning a very close match here against the Dead Rabbits from Florida. Austin Notorious here from Texas. And also the Cartel Kids in Washington State taking down Houston Zone.
Yeah, good little match.
Yeah, those 2 really good games. Better game for Notorious than the Dead Rabbits. But stick around. We got a D4 matchup coming up next. Hostile Ground. Going to be taking on Desmadre. Desmadre got dismantled by the Psychopaths in their first game. Psychopaths
They're
looked
slow
outstanding.
They're slow starters.
And they're going to be taking on Barline Blanco, who went into overtime and tied with SLT. So that is going to be the third set here. 2021 NXL Lone Star Amateur Open here on Go Sports. I'm Matty Marshall with Rich Telford. We'll be right back.
Seconds. 20 seconds. 10 seconds. 1 minute.
Welcome back. 2021 NXL Lone Star Amateur Open. I'm Matty Marshall with Rich Telford jumping into this next match. Hostile Ground taking the field here for the first time. Going to be taking on Desmadre. They already warmed up. They had a real rough game against the Psychopaths. They got mercy rule.
I'm not sure if they warmed up that match or not.
Yeah, well, hopefully they're warmed up now, because when you take a mercy rule loss, definitely need to get a mercy rule win to even it out. And now also taking the field, though, in this split deck format, Psychopaths was the team that dismantled Desmadre. They'll be taking on Barline Blanco, who looked pretty good against SLT. Really good it was a tie game, and we will see who's going to take this one. Barline Blanco going to be on the right-hand side, or sorry, Desmadre going to be on the right-hand side to start things out against Hostile Ground, who looks like they're in the murdered out jerseys, the red logo.
Yeah, Desmadre's looked good their first point, Matty, but once they lost that first point, it seemed like it took wind out of their sails. Lose their first player over here on the Snake side, they lose their second attacker.
Yeah, Desmadre, new name, but team full of some guys that played a lot of tournament paintball before, from making the trip over from Los Angeles.
Hostile Ground loses one on the break. He decides not to go out, draws a penalty, so he takes one of his buddies. 3-on-4 advantage here for Desmadres. Similar to the Snake position over here. With 2 on Snake side.
Hostile Ground, another team that's been around for a long time, but obviously, you know, exchanging bodies in and out over the years, but able to get a shot here. Back player on the Snake side for Desmadre.
3-on-3 now.
Hostile Ground playing a little bit more aggressive right now, up and on his feet here. Snake side. This player for Desmadre's got to hear the gun. Yeah, I was going to say. The guy's ripping his gun inside, and sure enough.
The Desmadre's player does hear him and react and eliminate him.
Yeah, and he's got this side completely to himself currently, so gonna try to play smart. He hears that gun cross field.
Yeah, look, and he gets him, gets the kill cross. Oh,
I think
misses that guy.
Yeah, he's blocked out.
By that wing, huh? So there's one on the drill side for Hostile Ground. That's the only player I see left alive in the field. Maybe there's 2 over on the drill side. Yeah,
that was a tough death, though, for Desmadre, trying to too big of a bite here on that D side, and he's just got to let that play develop, and he's going to last couple kills going to come from Desmadre here in the Snake.
Yeah, you see the difference between the divisions, where instead of hitting that buzzer, he's sharking to get that last kill.
Yeah. So first point on the board here is going to be for Desmadre, actually the first point that they have scored so far in this tournament.
Good job, guys.
As they got skunked out in that first one against the Psychopath. So much better start here against Hostile Ground, who has won some tournaments. First at NXL Chicago in 2017, but again, it's tough. We had talked about this if you guys are just joining us, but you know, down in the divisions, you may have a name that's been around for a while.
Yeah, the team name stays, but the bodies don't.
But the bodies change. It's hard to get commitments as regular life, and so you're looking at Hostile Ground taking first in Chicago 2017, but then 22nd in Vegas in 2020. So again, it's just tough to keep a solid roster together for some squads.
For sure.
For
all squads, really.
Yeah, it doesn't matter who it is.
Unless you got those dollars, it don't make sense. We got Blanco over here on the right, and Psychopaths on the left. Should be a good match. Psychopaths were really, really willy that first match. Never really died early, consistently pushing through the Snake.
And please head on over to Go Sports, gosports.com to watch the rest here of the competition. We have some good games coming up here, and some of the favorites here in D2. We got D4, D2 staggering sets back and forth this morning, but then once we get to this afternoon, it's going to be all D2, which is the highest level of competition out here.
Blanco on the Snake on the break. The Psychopaths lose at least 2 on the break. Yeah, could have got a penalty there. 3 on the break now.
Yeah, atrocious break here for the Psychopaths.
Oh,
talking about
Blanco
penalties.
blows it.
Yeah, it's going to be a penalty here on Barline Blanco, and that's Malden, who played really well for Barline Blanco in their first one, so tough break for him.
Apparently he cheats a lot, so.
Yeah, well, at least it was a minor.
Yeah.
So I think they still...
I think it's a 3-on-2,
yeah,
Blanco with 3 and Psychopaths with 2.
Still have an advantage, but now on the scramble, talk about a scramble constantly because you start 5-on-5, but the game devolves from there, and who can adjust when things get scrambled up the quickest.
And we're seeing a little bit of repetitiveness here where the guy on the attacker position for the snake player over here on Blanco's got nobody on his side of the field at all. But because one of the Dorito guys is occasionally throwing some paintballs his way, he's looking inside to shoot across to that guy instead of attacking.
Well, they got so it's Demott over here for Barline Blanco. I think that just so many bodies dropped so quick that Demott has no idea what the count is. I mean, he's playing against 5-on-5 right now in this spot. I mean, and he's asking for it. He's yelling crossfield, hey, what do we got? What are we looking at?
Yeah, but as he does that, another one of his players eliminated, another one's eliminated. He's just sitting in his bunker not doing anything.
Yeah, and see, this is there's going to be a tough high body situation loss for Barland Blanco. So this is one they're going to want back when they go back and look to see how this game started out. This game started out 5-on-2.
Yeah, they just lost a 5-on-2.
So a penalty and then some not knowing the situation has cost them because, so they had 3 bodies left alive after the penalty over here on Malden. But then they go by themselves. The first player in that 3 goes up by himself. Attacks by himself, dies. Next player gets shot out of his spot, and then that leaves Demott over here who had literally no idea what was going on when it all got a little crazy when all those bodies came off. But if he had moved up a little bit here on the snake side, maybe that would have forced one of the 2 players to maybe take a gun. Maybe that was the gun that shot his D-side player. So, again, it may seem a little bit easier, but that's so crucial, man. You have to be able to identify what the situation is, and the faster you can do that, the better. That's the big difference. Rich and I were actually just talking about this. We were very impressed with the level of play that we're seeing out here, but the big glaring difference between the divisions, and then once we get to the next event in late April, when the pros and the semi-pros come out, is, you may look at a D4 player and look at his, and see him completely removed from the context of the game, be like, oh man, look at how good his skills are. Left-handed, right-hand, he's diving into his spot. He looks like this dude's athletic. Yeah, he looks like he's balling out. But the difference is mistakes like that. Yeah. The timing, situational awareness, paintball IQ, those are the big differences between the levels right now. And those are the hardest things to teach and the hardest things to understand in this game.
And the higher the level, the faster you have to be able to do that, right? Yeah. So at this level, you get a few mistakes, you get a little time to look at it. But at the highest level, you maybe get one small window, and if you don't get through that window, it's never opening again.
And I think the question you have to ask yourself when you're out there on the field as a competitor in any division, but specifically when you're trying to get better at the game and you have improved your skills, you're good at right-handed and left-handed shooting, you can run a gun, you can dive, you look like you know what you're doing, but when you're in a situation like that, who's shooting at me? Where am I feeling pressure from? And if you're not really getting any pressure, then it's time for you to take a glance at your book and talk about penalties again.
She likes that flag. That's 2 penalties in a row.
Minor penalty assessed.
And another penalty on the other tape.
Ground, so yeah, penalty flags flying.
3-on-3 ball.
Penalty festival out here in this one so far in this set. Who's going to be the first to adjust? And it looks like Hostile Ground's going to get into the snake. Desmadre tried to get in the snake, but losing everybody on this side. You see 3 bodies walking off for the team from Los Angeles here. Desmadre.
And we obviously talk about a lot of stuff as these matches go on, and one of the things we talk about is pay attention to what's going on, try to figure out what's going on, learn what you can learn. Another play eliminated there for Hostile Ground. One of the things you need to learn is how much of the referees letting you get away with it, right? Yeah. When you're seeing flags every single point, you've got to dial it back, man. When you get shot, you have to stop playing, you have to talk to the ref, you have to not get a penalty.
It's like any other sport. If you're a lineman in football, you're going to be holding occasionally. How much are they calling those holding penalties? If you're playing basketball, are they going to let you get away with the extra step here or there? How much are they calling fouls? Every referee is a little bit different, as we're watching Desmadre here just he gets that last kill. So this was a really chaotic point. Yeah, but after all this chaos, it looks like Desmadre's last player left alive in a one-on-one is going to be taking this win.
And I think he's that guy that was super fired up this morning in the pits, just screaming and yelling, just on fire, ready to go.
So this is now a pretty good start. Oh, does he have a hit on him?
He says no, so.
Well, the referee looked at something. It looks like he's going to be called clean. So now, 2-0 will be the score here. Much better start. What a crazy point that was for Desmadre.
Yeah, it comes down to a one-on-one, and the Desmadre player just set up for the other guy going for the flag and mowed him up and got it.
Yeah, so again, back to how strict are the refs being? Yeah, paintball is no different. If you're a baseball player, whether you're a pitcher or you're up there, batting, what's the strike zone look like? Are they calling those outside strikes? If he's not, then you don't really have to worry about that as much. If you're a pitcher, it's going to be frustrating. But so every sport is a little bit different, but the principle is the same. Paintball, same thing here. If the referees are not calling bang bang plays, penalties, then you can be a little bit more aggressive.
You push it a little.
Yeah, you got to push it. So, but that's something that you got to kind of figure out as the event goes on.
But when most teams are out here playing 3-on-3s, you got to dial it back a little bit.
Yeah.
Like, listen, if you get shot, before you pull the trigger, go forward, just check in with the ref. Be like, hey, am I dead? I don't feel like I'm dead.
Yeah, that kind of goes to practice too. It's like, you go to practices and you see guys spinning and not calling penalties on their own guys. It just breeds in bad tendencies.
Go out on bounces in practice. Here we go, Psychopaths from the right.
All right, so the Psychopaths up by 1 right now on Barline Blanco, losing another body on the break though here. So they had a really bad start last one, and also losing a body here, and it doesn't look like they shot anybody here for Barline Blanco. So Barline Blanco here in another high body situation, 5-on-4.
Attacking on the drill side, man. As they, Psychopaths get a kill and a penalty. Teams out here definitely have to tighten this up a little bit. And it might be that this is the NXL first team refs, and they're used to playing with the divisional refs, and the divisional refs might be a little softer. With these guys out here playing pulling penalties left and right.
Yeah, we've seen a lot of penalties so far here today.
Psychopaths down to just 2 players left alive because of those penalties. Blanco with at least 4 guys left alive. 1 attacking the drill, 1 attacking the snake, and 2 guys supporting those guys in the tape. 2-on-4 advantage from Blanco, but we did see them lose a 5-on-2 advantage in the first point, so I guess we won't call this one quiet yet. And the Psychopaths are in good positions. They've got the field split, so there's not a dominant side that the Blancos can just fly down because there's no one on the side.
I know we got a lot of time left, but this is a must-win point for Barline Blanco because they squandered such a huge opportunity in that first one and just basically gave Psychopaths that point in a 5-on-2.
Sure.
So right now, Barline Blanco, tighten it up, talk it up, and figure out where these last 2 bodies are. So this is kind of when you need to be, you blew the communication on that last one. You should be extra communicative here in this particular point and moving forward for them. They have good real estate at the 40-yard line on both sides of the field.
Again, Psychopaths are attacking on the drill side of the field, Matty. Just moved up that drill 2 over there.
Yeah, so D3 and the inside D1 is hot, but it's a 5-on-2 again here.
Referee making a big run to check out the player for Blanco on 50 Snake.
Yeah, this is another time. If you're Barline Blanco, no penalties.
Do not blow this opportunity. Oh, it's just 1 player left alive now for a Psychopath. The player over here on the Snake side. He's in a tough situation, 4-on-1. Finally gets eliminated. Blanco, I don't think they know the count. They do lose another player, but I believe it's a 3-on-0 now. So pretty quickly, 4-on-0. So they should figure this out pretty quickly. There they go, cleaning out the tape. Running in for the buzzer. It's going to be 1-1 with 7:40 plus left in this match.
Much better look for Barline Blanco in that one. They got those early kills again, but this time no one died dumb. I can hear them screaming crossfield, keeping that information. No penalties. Information flowing back and forth. Yeah, it's a really smartly executed close.
And no penalties is huge in those points. So good point there for Blanco. Yeah. Right back this match, 1-1.
Yeah, it's in the Psychopaths.
The Psychopaths are struggling on the breakouts.
It's like what?
Really struggling.
The first game against Desmadre, they had no problems. 4-0. They look great. Those early deaths are just killing them right now. So, it's
like we say,
they're not even taking a ton of ground.
You cruise through your first matches. You don't learn what you need to learn. When you play your second match, you're in trouble.
Hostile ground, down by 2 to Desmadre, who are getting a much better start than they did in that first one.
Well, and Hostile ground's struggling again on the breakouts. They're losing a body and drawing a penalty early, so Desmadre's been playing. The first point was 3-on-5, second point was 4-on-3, and then came down to 1-on-1.
Yeah, and it's always that story too, because Desmadre did get to play a first game already, and even though they got blown out, they're warmed up.
Yeah, and they've seen the field.
And they've seen the field, and it was a blind layout, so yeah, this is a little bit of a tougher situation for Hostile Ground because it is a little chilly out here. They didn't get to play that first game, but they should have been here watching those first games.
Yeah, you would hope. Let's see this breakout. Hostile Ground figure out what they've been doing wrong. It's like Hostile they get 4 live. They do have a snake player getting check right now. But as of now, there's 5 players left alive. Oh, nope, this is the first player from that drill side, Matty.
Yeah, the referee went in and checked out their snake player. Looks like Hostile Ground snake player is clean and into snake 2, but a little bit better field position for Cahoop. 4-on-4. Cahoop in a good spot right now in snake 3. Looking inside, there's he has to worry about on that inside, so he probably can make the next move up here pretty easily. For sure. So look for him to look outside, get that outside continue. Yeah, nothing stopping Cahoop right now.
Except for the fact that he lost half of his hopper.
Oh, I didn't see that. The other part of his hopper's back into Snake 2.
Yeah. I'd have gone back and got that.
Probably would have gone back to get that too.
Yeah.
I mean, he wasn't feeling a ton of pressure.
This is my hopper, so don't be trying to grab it, bro.
So yeah, he doesn't have the top of his hopper right now. But
no one's playing with top hoppers anymore, man.
yeah,
That's old school.
this is that 2021 stuff.
It's lighter, it's easier to load, less to get hit.
See, we're the old guys. We don't even know it's cool anymore. Apparently, playing with only half your hopper, you make it extra harder and stuff, so you look even cooler when you start shooting people.
Heck yeah, like, bro, he did all that with half a hopper.
The hoop is just going to dive right into a lane.
I can't see who caught him, but someone caught him going around that corner.
I think it was the back center. How though? No, it wasn't the tower.
No, it wasn't his meaning.
That's just a tough death there for Duhoop, and he knows it too. He's coming off, shaking his head, eyes down in frustration.
It's like, bro, I played that whole game with no hopper. Come on, man. So 3 players left alive for Desmadres. Up 2 points here.
Yeah, we're looking on the D side here for Desmadre. And then now the tables have turned here on the Snake side as 2 bodies are out for hostile outside, trying to get outside contained for hostile ground. They're at the 50-yard line. They're wrapping around. Does have to worry cross field, D1 inside, and he does have a body in front of him. But that body here for Desmadre is in Snake 2, posted up, just totally defensive, waiting to get run down.
His goal is to try to trade with the guy in front of him and hope that no one else in the field exists. Look at him, sneaky. He's bouncing that bunker behind him, but nobody can see that. Trying to get the guy to come run him.
It actually worked a little bit as the lane from the inside kind of opened up on Snake 1 instead of Snake 2.
There you go. Yeah, to me though, you know, if you're laying and hiding for a long period of time, it's almost like that you're playing 2 against 4 instead of 3 against 4. It really puts a lot of pressure on the other guys on your team.
Yeah, but oh my God, hostile ground, just completely dropping the ball over here.
Well, apparently that guy knows more about paintball than me because he just easily shot that guy.
Well, then Desmadre is going to be losing a body over here too. So the game's not over yet, but now he might be getting a kill cross field here from Snake 2. He has that inside lane, but trying to shoot it from the ground. It's a tough gunfighting position from there, and that guy's probably not going to give you another angle once you miss your first shot. So yeah, he's going to move up. Now he's blocked out. But yeah, this player for hostile ground had no idea where this guy was in front of him.
Yeah, I don't know if Dex is probably not their first Snake guy. He's probably their second Snake guy. And here he goes, doesn't protect himself, gets bunkered again.
So he spent 2 minutes trying to protect himself, and then switched off, and ends up getting run down from that same angle.
Well, looks like Hostile Ground's going to get on the board. 2 players left alive here.
Well, this definitely was a bit of a war of attrition point here, as bodies were kind of squandered all over the place from both squads.
Yeah, Hostile Ground did a better job of attacking this game, though, Matt. They pushed 2 through the Snake. One of them, actually, this is the 3rd guy through the Snake. So 3 guys through the Snake and 2 guys through the Dorito. And the last guy through the Dorito and the last guy through the Snake were the ones that ended up winning it.
Yeah. The strategy of flooding bodies through the most important bunker set on the field sometimes works out for you.
Yeah, it seems like it, right?
Sometimes it does.
If there's a dominant bunker and you have more bodies than the other team, it seems like it would give you some kind of competitive advantage.
Yeah, I'd agree with you. I would definitely agree with you. So, gonna head into this tie game right now. Psycho Pass, Barline Blanco, tied at 1. Actually, both these games in this set tied up. But we've seen, if you guys are just joining us, thank you so much for joining us. And if you're already on GoSports.com, thank you for the support.
Tell your friends.
Please head on over to GoSports.com. We have some awesome D2 matchups coming this afternoon, the highest level competition here at the 2021 NXL Lone Star Amateur Open. We're here at Giant Party Sports, a little north of Dallas.
North Day.
10 seconds.
It's a beautiful day, but it's windy
beautiful.
and cold.
It's a tiny bit brisk. I am close to freezing to death. But yeah, it's other than it being really cold, it's very beautiful out here. And honestly, my fault, right? 2 weeks ago, I knew it was gonna be cold in Virginia. Brought lots of warm clothes. Thought, hey, look at the weather early in the week in Texas, a little too early. The weather was supposed to be 85. It's not gonna be 85 today.
How does the San Diegan come more prepared than Northern California as well?
Well, you know, when you come in last second, you have to pack for like a day and a half.
Dude, I got a new kid, bro. You know what I'm saying? I babysat yesterday. My kid was 6 months old yesterday, though.
Congratulations.
Thanks.
Block goes down 2 bodies, Matt. Their first attacker on the Dorito side, their first attacker on the Snake side have both been eliminated. Psycho Pass, all 5 bodies left alive. Big advantage here.
Yeah, definitely a big advantage. They have the ground. Psycho Pass, after almost losing them, they had a 2-on-5 in the first point, and now let Barline come back to tie it up. But in a chaotic point. But right now, now. Barline backs to the wall again here. Is now going to getting pinched out of that back center.
Yeah, Blanco's struggling at this point. Lose 2 on the break and leave the other 3 in the pocket with Psychopaths outside. Never trying to get outside. Psychopaths just control the tapes, push down, and smash that pocket.
Sullivan waving off the rest of his boys.
Please
Hey,
stop shooting.
Everyone's dead. Shot that last guy.
Yeah, Psychopaths with 4 bodies left alive there. Just lost that first guy early. Really good control point for them.
Yeah, and this is what we saw out of the Psychopaths, Rich, in that first match. After that first one, I was thinking, man, these guys look pretty good.
Those dudes are psychopaths.
Yeah. But, you know, the Psychopaths back in 2008, second at World Cup. There were 62 teams in D4 for World Cup in 2008. That's pretty good.
That's harder than it is to get pro, for sure.
I don't think people understand.
Mathematically, it's harder to get out of divisions.
Well, people that
for
play,
sure.
yeah, people play the divisional. You understand how hard it is, but I would always.
The people who don't play
I have so much
divisionals.
respect for the divisional guys that ended up there on Sunday, because now it's kind of cool. We get to see divisional
For
all
sure.
weekend, but typically we don't get to see the divisional guys till Sunday afternoon.
And we only get to see that speckling.
And yeah, and we just get to see the top 2 teams. But you know, and then you look at how many teams are in those divisions. It's like, okay, well, you had to beat through, 62 teams showed up, and you took second. That's pretty good. So yeah, so the Psychopaths, but that was back in 2008. So
That was a minute.
even though last year was kind of a bummer, wasted year from the 2 events.
Just Madres and Hostile Ground.
Hostile Ground taking some real estate here off the break and to get into Snake 2 and into D2 very quickly.
Yeah, I think that's the standard breakout too, Matty. 3 across the black in the pocket, Snake 2 and Dorito 2. Talking to Dorito 3 now.
It's a 5-on-5 break. I don't see any bodies walking off for either squad, but quickly up into Snake 3 right now for Desmadre. So really better field position here on the Snake side.
But at the same time, Hostile Ground's attacking the Doritos.
Well, and it works out for them too, as now they're going to be getting 2 kills from cross field right now.
Yep.
As we see our eye in the sky pan back, so now Desmadre going to be playing on their heels here. Hostile Ground needs one to tie. 4 minutes and 34 seconds left. And they have some good position currently. Made a move up in that center to the wedge, kind of more towards the D side.
Yeah, it seems like Hostile Ground has just slowed down a little bit here, and they're surviving the breakout, and they're playing aggressively but not crazy. Just kind of slow, methodical, pushing 2 down the Dorito side. They've got a guy in the Snake. He's kind of playing a little bit slower. Desmadres loses another player now
Past
on the
the
Snake side.
50, Rich past the 50-yard line, but going to be losing that body here for Hostile Ground, and just kind of a little bit of a sloppy gunfight on the close.
Yeah, I think it's a 4-on-2, Matty.
Those are the deaths you do not want to have in high body situations. When you take that ground, anytime you're past the 50, be very wary when you're getting into gunfights when you're in a high body situation. You really, especially if you have time to work with. We're slightly under 4 minutes to go. They're only down by 1. So those are the deaths you want to cut down on if you want to win this tournament.
Yeah, time's clicking down. 3 minutes, 40 seconds left. Tie it up. Both of these teams are going to want enough time to try to win this last point if this match gets tied up here in this 2-on-4 situation. I'd like to see a little bit more emphasis on winning this point if I'm Hostile with 4-on-2 here, now 4-on-1. I'd like to see them applying a little bit more pressure, just kind of showing that they know how to play the field, they know where the bodies are, they know what's going on. Player now dips from the big Dorito inside Dorito to the small outside Dorito. As he makes a move, he gets another kill. Hostile Ground now loses a body over there. We got 2 on the Snake side and nobody on the Dorito side, so it's a 2-on-1, but that one player for Desmadre has gotten a couple key kills here.
Yeah.
Oh, there's 1 left on the Dorito side, Matty, for Hostile Ground. That's going to save it for him.
Yeah, it's a little bit of a sloppy push so far from Hostile Ground, but they're still going to be able to get it done. They did enough work early on.
Still trying to figure out if there's anybody left. Should just take them a few more seconds to figure out that there's no one left and ring that buzzer.
Yeah, not terrible.
No.
But 2 bodies coming off needlessly. But I like the game plan, mostly like the execution.
Well,
And the positions those guys got themselves in early on were nice, but just I didn't need to tone it down just a little bit on the aggression.
And what I'm seeing commonly, Matty, is we're having a player over here on the Snake side not understand what's going on in front of him. And just not understanding that the only 2 guys left alive are both isolated on the Dorito side of the field. They can't see you, they can't shoot at you, so you should go forward.
Yeah, I think that we're going to see a little bit more quick aggression as things move forward on this layout and guys start to realize and understand the angles cross field.
Kind of get an idea what they can get away with.
Yeah, because you only can get shot at from a couple guys in certain spots from that D side, and we're not really seeing a ton of penetration early on that D side. So therefore, if you are in the snake and you are able to check off on those angles, a couple players have done it very well and are consistently getting into to snake 3 and getting into the 40-yard line wedge relatively quickly because no one's stopping them. But we're still seeing a decent amount of guys get into snake 1 or snake 2, spend a little bit too much time looking cross field for angles that don't exist. There's no one to shoot at, and there's no one shooting back at them.
I agree. Very succinct. Psychopath up by a point here. Struggled that first point, but the last 2 points have been super strong.
I think we're actually seeing a little bit more just across the board, and correct me if you think I'm wrong, but I think we're seeing a little bit better offense from the Dorito side players here so far this morning. What do you think?
Yeah, no, I agree. But I think it's because you're a little bit more heads up and you can see better. Psychopath loses their first attack on the snake
Layout
side.
contingent, obviously. I mean, this layout is the snake side's a little bit, but I'm just saying that's my point though. Is
because you can see more.
Yeah, you can kind of. I think that once the guys can figure, I feel like there's more angles on the D side and less on the snake side as far as what you're worrying about cross field.
Yeah.
You're less heads up though. Yeah. So I just think as the better snake players are going to start figuring out this, because again, blind layout, man, no one got to play this one. So.
Well, and the difference on this field, Matt, is from the back center to the snake side, you can't see anybody ahead of you.
Yeah.
All you see is a wall of bunkers.
Yeah.
When you go from back center to the Dorito side, there's 2 or 3 gaps over there. You can actually see gaps where you're like, oh, if that guy crosses it, I can see him. Snake on the snake side, man, you just got to put your head down and get up. Oh, wow. That was so unlucky. The Blanco player had been sitting there for maybe a minute or 2. Finally looks around the corner. The Dorito player across the field just dinks him one shot in the hopper. Broke his little heart.
That was Malden again.
Sorry, Malden.
Yeah, again, Malden's been pretty good over here for Barline Blanco. Right now, the Psycho pass in the driver's seat, good field position on the D side. They have 2 bodies on that side of the field. They do have a player on the snake side, but not out wide. So this snake side player is going to need to either get into snake 1 or get out to that back corner bunker.
Well, and he was there with Maldonado in front of him, and the guy inside. They had 3 over here on the snake side, man. None of them were attacking. They were all just kind of sitting there shooting their guns. They're down by a point. There's 5 minutes left in the game. You think you see a little bit more emphasis on them trying to play a little more offensively on snake side when there's only 1 player over here on the snake side for Psychopath.
Yeah, still a lot of time to work with though. So the sense of immediacy not quite there.
Yeah, Blanco loses another player. Psychopath loses another player.
A couple sloppy deaths here.
Might be a 2-on-3 with the 1 body advantage here for the Psychopaths. They've got 2 attacking on the Dorito side, 1 on the snake side. Blanco's got 1 in the inside Dorito and 1 in the snake corner.
Yeah, Seagrave pushing up right now for the Psycho pass. A couple of nice moves for Seagrave. His head was forward and looking also inside to check off on those lanes. There's no one shooting cross field here from the snake side. He's really not feeling any pressure from the center, so look for him to probably hit the deck or just move up to the 50-yard line.
Yeah, or you can just go inside to that box and jump back over. He's got lots of options.
Yeah, and then the D side, Psycho pass, also making moves over there. Can load up. It might be, I think, his last pod.
Blanco loses their snake corner. So the 1 player left alive is in the inset Dorito now. He's trying to get out of there. Goes to that center tower. Gets obliterated. And tries to get back up off the field. Yeah, Blanco got to be a little more offensive oriented on this snake side earlier in the game, in my opinion.
So now the Psycho pass, after getting a little bit of a slower start to this game than they did in that first match against Desmadre, but now with a 2-point lead.
Yeah, started off slow, but coming right back.
Closer match here, and a little bit less time. 2:36 to go. 2-2 is the score.
Yeah,
Can't really pick this one either.
The beginning of the match was Desmadre's hostile ground has taken over the momentum, in my opinion. I think they're going to score and win this next one.
Okay. Just for sake of argument, I will pick Desmadre.
Well, yeah.
But I'm with you on that.
I would like to vote for the California team as well.
I'm just saying. They're from Southern California.
Yeah,
so.
I would like to vote for them as well. But I think it looked really good the first point. Second point went down to the 1-on-1. He caught him trying to single bit, hit it. But since then, it's been hostile ground winning with 4 blocks.
Are you actually from LA? Weren't you like born in LA?
I was born in
LA.
LA.
See
LA
I remember everything about you, dude.
Oh, good.
Yeah. So I can't believe you go against your LA brother.
Not by choice. Good breakout here for Desmadre's 3 across the back. Snake 3, Dorito 3. That's the best. Oh, they lose their second attack on the snake side early. That's a bad death there. Dex.
Yeah, here now 2:20 to go. A little bit better field position as the hoop into snake 3, shooting crossfield, and then
thought he had a shot on
that.
Oh, he got that.
Oh, he
Dorito.
does.
Yeah,
Yeah. So that's a nice shot crossfield.
I think he got him earlier.
Did he really?
I thought he got him earlier, but he got him the second time for sure. So great shot across the field.
Is he yelling that kill though? I don't really definitely
I don't
see
feel
him
like he
yelling
is,
the
yeah.
kill across field. See, these are, maybe, yeah, I think now he's yelling that kill.
Man,
Or maybe does he not see him come
Listen,
out?
if I ever shoot anybody, I'm letting everybody know because I'm so happy about it. But yeah, he might not see.
He might. I mean, he's shooting that kind of that little bit of a blind lane over the top.
And the guy went out to the tape before he went backwards, so he did not see him go across the gap at all.
Yeah, I heard him say something about D2, but I couldn't tell if he said I shot the guy to D2 or hey, there's a guy in D2. So now DeHoop's going to come across. He definitely should know. Yeah, I'm pretty sure he knows that. Yeah, so he's going to take over that lane. He's got a pretty good shot, but missed the gap though.
Yeah, should have that gun up. He had the gun down a little bit, saw the guy go, had to bring the gun up to shoot the gap, and ended up shooting right behind the player.
Minute and 20 seconds left here, tied up, and there is no overtime in the prelims.
Yeah, and you say DeHoop's his name?
DeHoop.
DeHoop. I like the way he's playing, but with only a minute left, I'd like to see him shift outside and start coming forward a little bit because they need to win this point, not just tie it. A lot of people don't know this, but we don't do overtime in the division.
Yeah, so now down to just a minute left.
Yeah, DeHoop playing a little sloppy there. Could have got shot by that Dorito. He'd backed off. The Dorito saw him back off, just missed his first shot.
Yeah, Rich, I think we're probably going to see a tie here. There's no one in position to attack for Desmadre on that D side. I mean, DeHoop is just snowblowing paintballs out of the front of his gun right now.
Yeah, and to me, if there's no overtime, then it's going to be a tie game either way. Man, when this thing gets down to 15 seconds, I'm going. I'm trying to win that point, or get slaughtered.
Who knows? Maybe they get a major.
Yeah.
I have no idea.
But at least it puts you in the driver's seat to kind of control the tempo.
Yeah, this is
going hostile ground field onto the snake side, but a little bit too little, a little too late. There's 3 on the snake side for hostile ground, but none of them are looking to go forward. Their first snake player's been looking inside the whole game.
Yeah, the only guy that's really up and on his feet looked like he wants to go is DeHoop, and then he's going to go back to his knee. So
yeah, he's got 3 guys in front of him.
Yeah.
He shot, he got 1 kill across the field. There's 1 more player over there on the Dorito side, but the other 3 guys are directly in front of him. So he can't really afford to go and trade out with these guys because he's all by himself. I feel like hostile ground lost an opportunity there with 3 guys in the snake side against the 1 snake player, DeHoop. They could have gone down, traded the first guy out, still had 2 guys to go down and win that game. And they had plenty of time to put it together. But, we're all learning. We're all figuring this stuff out, and that's just one of the things you need to figure out, and that's one of the harder things to figure out.
Yeah.
So quit being so critical, Matt. Jesus.
Sorry, Rich. Just get a little grumpy when it's cold.
So I told the New York guys, I was like, just so you know, I'm coaching you guys. If you do something amazing, I'm not going to talk to you about it. If you do something pretty good, I'm not going to talk to you about it. But when you mess up, we'll be having lots of conversations. So,
Well, we'll occasionally get, people that we know or strangers occasionally that will come up and be like, hey, Matty, say something nice about me on the webcast. And I'm like, look,
yeah,
man,
do something nice.
Unfortunately, I'll break this down for you. It's a pretty simple equation. If you're doing something amazing out there, I'm forced to talk about how amazing you are. However, if you're doing something terrible, I'm forced to talk about how terrible that was.
It's like the Matrix. Yeah, when I started doing this, I started having guys come up to me like, Rich, my name's blah, blah, blah. I'm like, listen, when you get good, when I've seen you do stuff, I want to know your name. Like, I will learn it, trust me. But you got to do something good first.
Yeah, also, if you have a team full of unpronounceable names, write down the phonetic spelling and
please.
bring them up to us here in the commentator booth.
Possibly give
or
us
just
family history.
Yeah, also just if you want to send us a little note, give us some more information about your squad, please do so.
Blanco playing aggressively, attacking Dorito and Snake, losing their first Dorito player. The Snake guy, though, again, Matty looking inside, playing defensively when they're down by 2 potties.
I can only learn so much by checking
sorry.
and doing my homework online. Like, if you like burritos, I don't know that. It doesn't have that on PB Leagues.
Blanco's just falling apart here, Matty.
Yeah, 3:30 left to go. R-line needing 2, so I understand the reckless gunfights here because there's not a lot of time left, but it's just not working out for him here.
Yeah, but again, Matt, no offense. Malden is playing, he's hiding in the Snake 1.
Well, he's hiding in there now because he's lost everyone else around on that side of the field. He's going to get shot cross field. Looks like Psychopath's going to be losing 2 bodies here pretty quick. Fussel's doing all he can in a real bad spot. So Psychopath's losing a couple bodies.
Sloppy.
Kind of a little sloppy there, yeah, but they are going to be putting their 4th point on the board. So
yeah, Psychopaths look good, man.
They really do. Psychopaths, again, we mentioned this in their first match, but they took 2nd place at World Cup, D4 2018.
Feels like a long time ago.
Doesn't it?
I know it's not because we missed a year, basically, but it feels like a long time ago.
It does feel like a long time ago.
They were shooting spiders, right?
Titman 98.
Titman 98, that's right.
So we'll have 2 minutes in between these points. But, yeah, I mean, the Psychopaths got off to, we watched that first dismantlement, the Desmadre in the very first game.
They struggled.
And we were thinking, oh, man, Psychopaths look amazing. They showed up here not really looking good in the first 2 points. But since then, and this is a good look for them, because if you do come out and have a good look and then all of a sudden things fall apart, how do you react? They reacted.
You learn more
with composure.
Yep.
And tighten it back up, and they've looked pretty solid here. For Barline, taking that tie against SLT in their first match, it was a little hit or miss for both those squads,
but they had some points where they looked really well.
Exactly. That's why I'm a little surprised.
I feel like Blanco is one of those teams where if they win the breakout, they play really, really well. But if they don't win the breakout, they don't really have a plan B. Even if they're playing 5-on-5 or 4-on-4, they're not really ready for that.
Yeah, and obviously being good in the scramble. Look, you're gonna, you walk the field, you get your game plans, 5-on-5, 4-on, whatever. I mean, that's the easy part. What do you do when all of a sudden you have to toss the game plan out, and now you got an audible on everything?
Which is
because
every single game.
Which is every point. That took the words out of my mouth for sure. So.
The game plan wasn't for them to do that.
And also, that stuff you can practice.
For sure.
If you're a coach out there and you want to teach your guys, how to live in those moments with their best looks, well, you can start just changing things on the fly. Set up a situation where it's 5-on-5, and then just start pulling dudes out.
Set up worst case scenarios.
Put themselves or put yourselves in 3-on-2s. And if you really, again, if you want to change stuff, just go in and be like, hey, I know you didn't get shot, but I'm going to pull you out right now. But everyone knows that. Hey, at some point in time, I'm going to throw a penalty randomly, and things are going to get changed.
I'm going to try to sneak them off the field.
Just in a sense, because you're just trying to create chaos, see how your players respond, so they live in those moments and learn enough. So when it happens, when you're actually playing in a big tournament with tournament refs, tournament pressure, at least they've been in the deep water before mentally.
The harder the practices are, the easier the tournaments are, for sure.
Guys don't want to do that, though. Guys just want to show up, just play points.
Yep.
No
I'm going to get there
drills.
like 10:30 to 11. I'm going to play some people that aren't as good as me, foster my ego.
Yeah.
I'm going to check out about 1. And I'm going to tell everybody I'm the best paintball player in the world.
Which is, hey, if you want to just have fun, totally fine. Absolutely fine. If you want to win, that's not the road. 2:52 now. And a big lead for the Psycho Pass. So look for some reckless attack moments right now for Barline Blanco.
I don't know if they got it in.
I think they got to do it. I mean,
they have
mercy,
to do it, but
mercy rule
based
right
on
here if they lose this one.
the way that Snake guy was playing that last point, I don't think they're looking to fly down the field. I mean, they've won the breakouts a couple times here and been up on bodies, up on positions, and just zoned up and waited for the other guys to run into their zones.
All right, here we go. Barline Blanco, it's on them to push forward. Psychopaths can just go out and shut it down if they want. 10-minute breakout, though, for the Psychopaths.
They lose 2.
Demolished.
Yeah, they lose 2.
Wow.
Oh, they lose 3.
Oh
they lose
God,
4.
What a great break for
Like I said, Blanco's on fire, guys. They're going to run down this field and just smash everybody out.
Barline Blanco just put on an off-the-break shooting clinic. Psychopaths didn't even go anywhere, really. I mean, they took as little ground as you possibly can take, and still it cost them 3 bodies.
Which on this field, I don't think you can do. I don't think you can just line up across the back of the field. You got to get to those 50s. And like I said, if Blanco does well in the breakout, they win the points.
Oh, and then they punish the last guy left alive. And that's when, unfortunately, the Psychopaths, because you have a big lead and you're going to want every second to tick off the clock, the last guy's just going to be wearing it.
And, his neck was very vulnerable. And the Blanco guys took advantage of that.
Well, no mercy roll now, so Barline Blanco with 2:08. Those off-the-break shots giving themselves an opportunity here.
Yeah, I can't overstate it enough. If you can shoot 4 or 5 guys in the break, I mean, it just gives you a lot better chance of winning these points.
Yeah, hey, a couple ways to quick points. And the biggest one is to shoot bodies on the break and to shoot 3 or 4. Yeah, the Psychopaths could not have had a safer breakout other than hiding 3
other
in the
than
back.
running into the paintballs. That part wasn't safe.
Yeah, that's when if you're a coach, you're like, well, I mean, that was literally the safest break that I could have.
I
guys,
specifically told you don't get shot. You heard that, right?
remember the get to your spots alive part
Stay
of the
alive.
speech I just
Stay
gave?
alive.
So, 1:30 to go before the start of this next one. Coming up next, though, looking forward to this next set because it's going to be interesting. Killer's going to be taking the field. Killer's from Florida. I really like watching the Killers play.
Florida's strong, man.
Yeah, it's a team that's been very successful down in Florida. They have a lot of good experienced players and definitely a favorite here. And they're going to be taking on MX Dead Legion, which has both Luis Betancourt and Jose Navarro, new pickups for the ML Kings, playing on that squad.
Yep. Solid pickups, man. Good players.
I saw Betancourt as I was sprinting to the porta potties in the 2-minute break that we had in between last points. And I was like, Betancourt. And he's like, yeah, what's up, man? I'm like, I'm expecting big things out of you this weekend.
Don't you disappoint me, bro. Yeah, I don't know if our producers got the order on the heater earlier because the heater has not been delivered here yet.
I think this is late.
Yeah,
You know,
so
I think the truck was stalled out somewhere.
And Geo is bright because these trash cans up here are plastic. If they were metal, obviously we could light a fire in there, warm ourselves up. He's always thinking. He's always thinking.
Always thinking ahead.
2 steps ahead. 2 steps ahead. All right, big point here for Blanco. They need a fast 1 minute point if they want to get back in this match with a chance to tie. Down by 2 with 2 minutes left. And again, if they can
have a
shoot
chance.
4 or 5 on the break,
that'll help.
they can do it.
I mean, 2 minutes, 8 seconds. You can do that. That is not out of the realm of
You
possibility.
can if you win the breakout. When you're Blanco, I think for me that's their key to success. They gotta win
on the
breakout.
Blanco taking some ground here. Going to go to Snake 2 with Malden, sorry.
Lose their first
They
body.
are going to be losing a body and from a safer spot in that center. So they still have their attackers there in the outside. And oh my God, the Psychopaths getting another absolutely terrible break. 2 bodies coming off for them. The Bendo, but a major penalty assessed here. And Malden gets shot, Fussell comes off, and that should do it at least for this point and probably for the game.
Yeah,
So Barline Blanco needs to concede this point. Okay, finally conceding the point after realizing they just had a disastrous major penalty.
You never like to see that red flag go up. You're like, oh no, dude, you just bro.
Yeah, and now they're back to a situation where it could get mercy ruled.
Where it's unmanageable.
Yeah, 3 points, minute and 32. We've seen it before, but the possibilities of that happening. Not this layout. We've seen a couple quick points out here.
Hey man,
but
if you can shoot 4 in the break, you can win a fast point.
Yeah.
Well, against anybody.
Well, Psychopaths, even though they did get a gift here, and they have had 2 rough points in a row. That last point, again, could not have come out with a safer breakout. 3 bodies shot off the break. And then this one, as we're watching 1 body come off for Blanco, and they're running down the field, taking big bites, and I look across to Psychopaths again, 2 bodies
two
come
guys
off.
are sneaking
and I'm like,
off.
wow, these last 2 points have not
I
looked
couldn't
good
tell
for
if they
them.
got shot on the break or if they got shot in their first or second look, you know, because so much chaos was going on.
Yeah, so it's probably going to be a win here for the Psychopaths, but we just got to see what the score is going to be. But crazier things have happened. I mean, if the Psychopaths keep playing catch like they have the past 2 points.
I got that one. I got it. No, I got it. Fighting over the ball.
Yeah, but I don't know. I mean, past couple of 2 points have not looked good for the Psychopaths. They obviously won that last one because of the horrible major penalty, but overall they look pretty good. Definitely so far early on in this tournament.
Well, and
one of the
honestly,
favorites.
yeah, and honestly, 2 guys had already been shot before that penalty had occurred, so Psychopaths were already winning that point before they got the penalty. They just made it faster for them. Made it a little easier for them, not having to clean up. You know, Matt, I'm gonna sit down because I'm hoping it's warmer down here for some reason.
It's not. I already tried that.
Trying to get out of the
that
breeze,
elevation.
maybe. I'm just gonna hide behind you.
But you're bigger than me. Not by much.
Jesus. Fat jokes are already starting, guys. It's going to be a long freaking weekend. Here we go. Psychopaths on the right. A little bit of a bad breakout. Oh, they went to that crappy 4 across the back. Dorito 1 layup, but they get there alive this time. Here comes Blanco.
Yeah, Blanco's pushing it like they need to. Obviously down by 3, and they've taken some real estate here.
Yeah, they got 2 guys on the 50 over on the Snake side, 1 guy on the 50 on the Dorito side.
But a little bit better survivability right now for the Psychopaths.
Blanco loses their first player attacker on the Dorito side. That's the problem is that Dorito guy was attacking, but nobody was really attacking here on the Snake side, so the guns weren't really drawn either way. That Blanco guy thinks he definitely shot a guy across the field, but referees don't see so. Inside a minute.
Yeah, Psychopaths just topped into their spots, 5 bodies alive, rolling their guns, and just trying to present the smallest targets possible after those early deaths the past couple points. So they definitely tightened it up here in this important close. Last 40 seconds to go. Yeah, it's Barline Blanco still, they need to put a guy in and go at this point in time.
Yeah, it's too late.
Well, you're also fighting for point spread. I mean, point spread's important. Right now, Barline Blanco.
Penalty on Blanco.
Yeah, that's not surprising given the situation. But point spread pretty crucial out here. Penalty going to be assessed on Psychopaths.
Yeah.
But still going to be leaving 3 bodies, just a minor. Still 3 bodies out there for the Psychopaths. I think there's just 1 left for Barline.
Just the Dorito attacker.
No, 2 now. Yeah, now just 1. Well, he died on his sword.
Yeah, at least he went forward. Now, our usual 2-minute break between matches isn't going to be as long this time, Maddie, so I'm going to need you to really, really run hard to that bathroom and
good.
really dig on back.
I'm good. I'm good for now.
No, I was hoping you'd give me some time, but cool, cool. No, that's cool. I'll handle myself, thanks.
It is quite a long run.
Well, good match
So,
here.
Yeah, the Psychopaths are going to take another Mercy Rule win, though this one not as easy as the first one, and then a tie in this one between Hostile Ground and Desmadre. But looking forward to seeing the Killers, one of the favorites in D2, but they're playing the Dead Legion team from Mexico, but they got a couple ringers on it with Luis Betancourt and Jose Navarro, New Picos Remo Kings, who have had really good looks for them early on here this year. So, yeah, stick around for that one. Also, Austin Notorious going to be taking the field against TMB. Looking forward to this next set here.
Fun.
Stick with us on Go Sports, the very first NXL event of the year, the 2021 NXL Lone Star Amateur Open here at Giant Party Sports and Manny Marshall with Rich Telford. We'll be back.
The first National Xball League Divisional event of 2021 is just on the horizon. Don't miss the NXL Lone Star Amateur Open, going down Friday, March 19th to Sunday, March 21st at Giant Party Sports Paintball and Airsoft Park, just north of Dallas, Texas. The gunfights will rage across 2 different formats, 5-man and X-Ball, with 3 different levels of competition in each format. Make sure to register your team by Wednesday, March 10th, which is the final day to get your squad signed up for the battle. Also, tune in to watch all the action going down on center court, only on GoSports.com.
We are back here, 2021 NXL Lone Star Amateur Open at Giant Party Sports, a little north of Dallas, Texas. I'm Manny Marshall with Rich Telford. I'm looking forward to this next set here as the Killers from Florida taking the field. They've been very successful over the years, and they're definitely one of the favorites here in
Amazing
D2.
name.
Yeah, another great name. Like the Floridians come up with some good names for paintball teams.
I feel like there's something down there that they use to get creative and really fall back on that and become very creative with their naming.
It definitely could be whatever it is that's working for them. But yeah, the Killers, big fan of the Killers. They got some old school ballers on that team. Yeah, they're fun to watch. But they are taking on the Mexico Dead Legion. Another good name, but Dead Legion picked up Louis Betancourt, who's been outstanding early on here in
absolute killer.
Yeah, well, I think he is. And you know, he's from the DC area, practices against the Revo guys. They say really good things about him, so I'm looking for
those guys blew it.
Big event out of Betancourt, and then they also have Navarro.
I feel like the Northeast Blue let Betancourt get out of there. I would have locked him down.
Yeah, apparently he's 32 years old. It's not like he's a kid. He's been around for a while.
He's close to an adult. Here we go. First look at Mexican Dead Legion. Snake 2 on the break.
Yeah, going to take the Snake. I didn't see Betancourt out there in this one.
Well, he's getting kind of old. Yeah. You know? I don't want to put him too many points. Killers right to the 50 Snake, wrapping around, putting a lot of pressure across the field, getting the first kill from the Dorito can.
This is what I'm talking about. Thank you, Killers.
Thank
you already
for playing
here.
Correctly.
Yeah, he's in a good spot. No one stopped him. He's going to run down. He's going to get 2. This is 2 kills so far.
Yeah,
just making it look easy.
3 kills for him.
A little 3-pack.
He's doing everything right. And this
is the way, he hadn't got that kill in front of him.
He didn't get that guy.
Oh my God. I cannot believe. And he's also completely shocked too. And it looks like a minor penalty is actually going to be assessed on the Killers. So just what ended up, what we thought was going to be a beautiful 3-pack, and the tables have completely turned. And now it looks like Dead Legion here in the driver's seat.
Well,
wow, how did he miss his shot on that?
Yeah, Matty, fortunately the Snake player for the Killers did enough damage that Dead Legion's going to have a hard time pushing it back here, because I think there's 3 players left alive for the Killers.
It's a 3-on-3.
3-on-3 or 3-on-2?
It's a 3-on. Well, there's 3 players for Dead Legion for sure.
There's 2
players for
Dead
the Killers.
Legions. Yeah, 2 Dead Legions.
3 for Dead Legion for sure. They have D2 inside D1 and here on the Snake.
I said it's maybe a 3-on-3, Matty. There's definitely 2 on the Dorito side for the Killers. I saw, obviously, the one guy get shot at the penalty
Yeah, so it is a 3-on-3, but the problem for the Killers is they have no one on this Snake side. Everyone is on that D side and to the center.
Oh, yeah. That center tower is going to hate it when the Snake goes down and just blows
so
up.
Neves over here, he's in the spot. He's got the ball. And
the
Killers are going to have to reposition. Yeah.
Great fill, though. He went from the corner to the can, now from the can to the center. If he can get back out on the Snake side, he can pull this point back out for the Killers.
It's going to be tough, though, as he does have a body in D3 looking that way. Neves is looking inside here for Dead Legion.
It's funny, the beginning of this point was all Killers. Now the momentum is switched and it's all Legion.
That's how quickly a penalty and a missed shot can cost you.
Yeah, but I do like so much the way the player for the Killers played that up until he got shot, didn't shoot the guy in front of him and drew the penalty. But just, if no one's stopping you, go forward and get those kills, especially your first few points out, see what you can get away with.
It still was a beautiful move.
Oh,
He got unlucky, and he did get a penalty. He missed the shot on the guy, but still, he did exactly what's possible on the Snake side. He showed us that.
Killers lose another body, Matty, out of back center now, 2 live.
Yeah, so 2-on-3 situation. Neves is in the spot over here on the Snake side, and he doesn't look like he knows where these last few players are. He's trying to figure out where the bodies, but also play tight at the same time.
Yeah. He's got the center tower, he's got the Dorito 3, but he doesn't know, I think, where that center tower is. He's trying to probe to see if there's anyone left on his side, or if anyone has any angles on him. He's going to try to wrap and put pressure on that Dorito. Got to make sure he doesn't get caught by that tower.
Yeah,
gets across that gap well.
Does he know that there's a body in that tower? He just went across the gap where now he knows that body's in the tower. And it's going to cost him his body, though. See, this is the problem, man. This is why you have to... He was playing as tight as he could.
Yeah, he played it really well up until that point.
It's also... what's the highest potential of where there's going to be a body left alive, right?
Right.
The tower would probably be a high percentage place that a guy's going to be alive. And, I mean, he did check off on that lane as he went across, but right as the Killers were able to hide from there, so...
That killer guy in the tower played really, really well. Just slowly, methodically, kept his eyes on him. Didn't shoot too much. Down to a 2-on-2 now.
Yeah, 2-on-2 situation.
Back and forth match, Matty.
Yeah, this is a pretty exciting.
All in the first point.
Yeah.
We've had a whole match full of excitement at one point.
So we'll see. The Killers, he's got to be careful in the tower because the player for the on the D side here for Dead Legion is looking inside. He's kind of actually back and forth. He's dealing with his mirror. And also glancing inside now, Dead Legion player on the D side is going to be backing up off that spot a little bit to try to get a little bit better angle on the center. It's going to come down to this next kill. Whoever gets this next kill, it's probably going to seal the deal here for the point.
Yeah, I think that the Legion player in the center of the field, 00 there, can use that big wing in front of him to block that Dorito out and go right through and set up to catch that tower guy.
Yeah, and it's kind of tough. When you're at a big brick like that, unless you're about 6 foot tall, you really can only play one side or the other. This guy actually looks like he might be pretty tall. Yeah, he's definitely tall enough to play over the top. But he moved up there because he had Neves over here in a good spot in the D side. Neves didn't know where that tower was, though, cost him his body. And now that puts his player, his teammate, in kind of a bad spot. It's not the best place to be in this situation.
Yeah, for sure. And the Killers player that made such a good shot on the outside player has the ball here for the Killers. If he can get out, if he can put the Dorito out and get over to this tower, he can still protect his Dorito guy, but he can put a lot more pressure on the Dorito 3 and the center brick for the Legion.
Yeah, and again,
And
this is why you.
Oh, he gets caught.
See, that's what he had.
Yeah.
He had to worry about that. So now, this might be Schmitty.
Made the right move, just didn't execute. Oh, did Smitty just make that move? Oh, he ripped his hopper. That hopper's hit. But the guy's still in there.
He's going to come up and possibly trade out.
Oh,
well, this player might have. He might be getting a penalty. That might be getting called rub.
Man, great move by Smitty. Oh, that's a penalty.
Yeah, and he's begging for a penalty. That definitely.
If he's eliminated, that's a penalty for sure.
That is 100% a penalty. As he came up, the Dead Legion player's like, where did I get shot? The referee came up and looked exactly where Smitty was trying to. I think that Smitty was looking at where the shot was. And that just looks like a little bit of a missed call there. And we've seen a ton of penalties so far this morning. I could see why he was getting so angry. He's probably going to come back over.
If I was Smitty, I'd be like, let me just break this down for you. I shot that dude. Then he shot me in the back. And then you eliminated me and let them win that point.
Yeah, well, we might have a no point here as the referees, it was zebra convention out here in the center of the field.
I feel like it should be point for the Killers.
Yeah, I mean, that was a nice move by, I think that was Schmitty, but still.
Yeah, that was a 3-on-2 down to a 2-on-2, down to a 1-on-2, and it looked like he went through, shot the first guy, and was in position to shoot the second guy, but the first guy decided not to go out on that hit. And there's no one left on the field to shoot that guy, so interesting. It did look like Schmitty's hair.
Yeah. Well,
here we go in the next match.
That's why we got Russ down here. They'll figure it out. They're still trying to figure it out. Yeah, he comes up and gets that shot, and then went to engage with the last player left alive. That player continued to play. Ended up getting called out where he said that he had shot him, and then now the refs are trying to figure it out. So it kind of looked like a missed call there.
Yep. Well, it looks like Bobby's going to go figure it out. He's running over there to talk to the Killers, maybe. Listen, this is what happened. We might have made a little mistake here. Oh, man, it's comfortable up here.
I was going to say, are you okay over there?
I did not pack.
Can we get
I
Rich
did not pack correctly.
Can we get Rich another sweater? Does anyone have any long johns?
16 sweaters is enough. Looks like we're getting ready for this next point. FSU on the right. Against TNB on the left, or TNT.
Yeah, so yeah, again, it's going to be Notorious taking on TNB.
Notorious.
TNB also another decent Florida team.
A lot of good teams out of Florida and Texas these days. They are Florida and Texas, like we've been talking about, have definitely become the mecca of paintball.
Yeah, and anytime you have an event in Texas, it's like Notorious fighting to see, hey, we want to be the best team in our division from Texas.
Obviously. We want to talk about this paintball facility out here, Matty? Brand new giant sports facility opened up by our friend Gio.
Yeah, apparently carved it out of nothing. It definitely is a Geo-esque field. I mean, there is some cool like rec ball fields here that looks like I want to go play.
Yeah, there's like big towers out there. So I saw it from the drone footage.
It definitely
yesterday.
has an SC Village feel to it.
Yeah, for sure.
So still trying to, looks like Bobby's our head referee still. We're waiting to see what the call is on that. Might be a no point, but maybe they'll give the Killers that point.
Yeah, he's explaining it to the scorekeeper. He's like, listen, I know that was crazy. Let me break this down to you. Looks like we figured that out now, so we can get back into this next match.
Yeah, this is what if you're Notorious and TNB, you're thinking, all right, can you guys just figure it out? Because
later,
sitting out here, waiting to play our first point.
Usually you're worried about your paint getting hot, but in this case you're worried about your paint getting cold.
Yeah, so Notorious in their standard white jerseys. They'll be on the right to start things out. Teams do switch sides each point.
Every scored point.
Yeah, every scored point. If it's a no point, be on the same side. But and then TMB got their kind
Fat
of
gold chains.
Yeah, it's kind of the Cat Factory throwbacks. The TMB on the gold chain.
Fat gold chain.
Except for the one standout. There's always the one guy who wants to have his own thing. So you got one dude in a murdered out all black TMB jersey. Everyone else got the fresh new jerseys.
There's really two teams. There's the team, and then there's that guy. Thinks he's his own team. It's like FSU going with that same lineup, Maddie. Hubert, Franz.
Yeah, all the breakout now. Well, I think he just got clipped here as Notorious going to be losing to body. Some great off the break shots from TMB. See our high in the sky. Spin on over. And TMB looks like Five Eyes live. No, but they're going to be losing a body from the backhand. So
it's like 4-on-4. Maddie Snake player was alive for FSU after getting the most thorough cleaning. At the same time, though, Mark Franz walks out of his bunker. Got shot out of his spot over there. No excuse for early death ever there from Mark Franz.
Lauder is going to be pushing on over and then now throwing his gun towards that D side, but I like to fill over to help out his Snake player.
Yeah, me too, and I like the fact that although they're down by one, they're still attacking on the Snake side.
Got a chance to have Keegan Lauder on our show, live show. And
when is that live show?
We do them typically like Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday-ish, depending on the schedule for the guest.
Gotcha.
But Lauder was a good interview, man, and unfortunately he just took a walk, and so did one of his teammates here, so not looking good here early for Notorious. So this is a minor penalty was thrown. I think Lauder was pulled on the penalty, and then that's going to pull out the body over here.
Another penalty.
Yeah, it's not looking good for Notorious in this first one.
Notorious with 0 bodies left alive on the field, giving TMB a large advantage here. Take a few seconds to figure out where those bodies aren't. Once they figure out that no one's shooting back at them, and there's nobody in any bad spots, they can go forward and win this one easily. Good look here for TMB, and then I think Notorious just conceded that, which is smart. They probably should have conceded that at their first point. Or excuse me, earlier in their first point.
Yeah, so
it looks like Buddy from Vegas is here. Brawlers, my favorite guys in paintball.
So Notorious gonna have to shake that one off. That was a pretty terrible point for them.
Well, they lost one on the break. They were in the Snake. Then they lost Markey, and then they got that penalty, and that just cost them.
So yeah, terrible point.
Yeah, went from 4-on-4 to 3-on-4 to 1-on-4.
That's when if you're TMB, you start things out. You're like, oh well, they got a pretty good break. They're in good spots, and then 60 seconds later, you're like, where are all of our opponents? I thought,
is anyone shooting at you?
Yeah,
no one's shooting at me.
So now it looks like they did give the Killers that point.
Oh, good. Yeah, I mean that not good because the Killers, but good because from our perspective, that looked like what happened.
Yeah, no, I think that was the correct call. I think that so good on Bobby and the refs for making the right call.
Bobby's about as good as you can get. Nobody's more passionate. Nobody cares more about it. Nobody's put more time back in. Yeah, it looks like Smitty over there for the Killers on that drill side again. 5. Let's see if Killers can play that offensive game that they started off that last point with. Yeah, 2 fields almost starting simultaneously here, so we did a little timeout.
Yeah, that's been something that the rest didn't have to deal with because they are right next to each other. You got to be really careful not to.
Yeah, to me, and I don't want to be that guy, but can we make different sounds for the buzzers so that like a different sound sounds like a different field, sounds like a different, like one could be a train whistle, one could be or like saxophone.
Yeah, I like the train.
The train is good.
The train horn. You should get one of those on your truck.
Ooh, I have one of those on my truck. Apparently, I've been talking to my neighbors. There are no cats in my neighborhood.
All right, jumping into second point here as the Killers are up by 1.
Snake on the break for the Killers. Going right from Snake 1 to Snake 3. Exactly what you want to see out of your Snake player. Looks like the Snake player for the Dead Legion was eliminated on the break. He's taking a long walk this way.
Yeah, taking a little bit of heat from that inside Killers Snake first attacker, but the referee getting and checking him out. Looks like he's clean now, up and on his feet.
The Killers are the first team that I've seen playing this field the right way, in my opinion. The Snake side,
Oh yeah,
going
hyper
over
aggressive.
here. Yeah, just if there's no one stopping you, why don't you just go? He's got 2 kills already. He's looking to get a 3rd one there out of home. Once he gets,
and then immediately they're going to be conceding that point. So that was a real nice point. As the Killers, they got really hurt by the penalty on this first snake attacker in that last one. I mean, he had a 2-pack before he got the penalty. Kind of missed his shot, but now, again, yes, I totally agree with you. Playing this snake the way it's supposed to be played. If he's feeling no pressure, he's taking ground, and he's constantly been into this 50-yard line structure, so...
Yeah, the only thing I'd like to see better is a guy behind him, right? He plays exactly the way he played. He played, though, as if there was a guy behind him, so if he got shot out, no big deal, there's a guy to fill. So I think he played really, really great. I think just the team needs to back him up a little bit and get a body over behind him.
And also, the rest of the team filtering up with that aggression. So when your snake player is making a big move, taking a bunch of ground, you have to take advantage of that. So as soon as those guns turn, then you make the moves up on the D side, make the moves in the center of the field to complete that offensive
It's funny
look.
you say that because I see so many people not do that. Like, they just sit in the drills and watch. Like, what is that guy doing? Oh, man, he shoots. Oh, he's having a game. Yeah, he's doing good, man.
Yeah, but the Killers, like we were talking about, one of the favorites here.
Yeah, and you can see why off the strong first 2 points. TMB, snake on the break. 3-3. Good communication with both teams. FSU with 5. Looks like 5 bodies left alive. TNB might be losing their first player. Bobby's running all the way across the field. And if Bobby runs all the way across the field, you probably get pulled out. And you're going to get a penalty because that's a long run for Bobby.
Major penalty, too. It's going to pull out 2 more. And
FSU needs that. They just dropped Mark and Franz, just got shot early again. Mark is usually one of the more consistent guys, but he's definitely dying early over here.
Well, they're looking at just 2 bodies now here. Austin Notorious getting a big gift and a major penalty. And those 2 bodies are on opposite sides of the field. One's in Snake 3, others in D2. So Notorious.
It looks like Marky's the only player that FSU has lost so far, Maddie. So I believe it's a 4-on-2, 2 Snake side, 2 Dorito side against the 2 TNB players.
Yeah, they're in D2 in the back corner bunker on the D side. Also insert bunker here in the Snake side at the Aztec, and then up into the 40-yard line spot.
That Dorito corner is so hard to play, Maddie. It's inset a little bit, but everybody on the field just kind of generally puts paint over in that direction, you know?
Oh, he had no idea. So
that was sloppy.
The player from TNB playing offensive in a defensive position works out a decent amount of times, but he had no idea that body's in. He's able to turn his gun eventually and get that shot in on him. So now it's just 1 body left alive, and Notorious flying down the field, try to close this one out to tie the game up.
Yeah, I don't know where the 1 body left alive is, Maddie.
Oh, he died already.
Okay.
Yeah, he was live, and now he's not.
Hence the big move from FSU down that tape. There's nobody live. Watch this pimp ass move I'm about to make. Did you guys get all that on the cam?
Yeah.
Wait, let me get the camera over here. Get the camera over here, guys.
Were you watching? We were watching.
It was pretty impressive, guys. It was pretty impressive.
So penalties are just killing everyone out here,
dude. And that's on the players. 100% on the players, 100% on the coach, right? The referees can't call a penalty on you if you didn't get shot.
Well, they can.
They can, but it doesn't happen very often,
yeah,
right?
Regardless of what people say, it typically does not happen that often.
No matter what the player's telling you in the pit, he probably got shot.
I swear to God, I wasn't shot. It wasn't even close.
He told me he messed up. He told me specifically, don't worry about it. I messed up. I'll make a makeup call. Just wait for the makeup call, guys.
So tie ball game. TNB and Austin Notorious. Florida versus Texas again. We're going to see that a lot.
Yeah, and that's the country battle right now. Florida and Texas. Both battling for dominancy, supremacy. Teams like the Killers, TMB coming out of Florida, FSU, Texas coming out of Texas.
And when I was in Florida, the Killers, the Dead Rabbits, all the good teams down in that area of the world were like, you've been talking about Texas being the mecca of paintball, man. Florida, we're the mecca of paintball. Look, we need to get a Texas-Florida battle going on. I'm like, okay, cool.
Good.
Well, here we have it right here.
There's a perfect event coming up.
Perfect opportunity for you guys. And so we will, it's not the boldest bet in the world to say that someone from Florida is going to be playing somebody from Texas.
Or that someone
in
from
the
Florida
finals.
or Texas will win, yeah.
Or it could be Florida or Texas in the finals. I don't know. That's why we do the prelims.
Nobody from Modesto, for sure.
As it stands right now, the Killers from Florida are beating Mexican Dead Legion here.
Yeah, Mexican Dead Legion had a good first point, lost just that little 2-on-1 to Fernanda. Second point got beat up pretty hard through the stellar snake play of the Killers. They lose their first player over here on the snake side, and what I don't like, Maddie, is as the Legion loses their first snake player over here, their second snake player goes to defense and looks inside instead of looking to attack down the snake side of the field.
Yeah, Killers, this is snake player is awesome. I really like how this guy's been playing the game.
Yeah, he's going to come up with that cross shot on the player over there in the wing.
I mean, this is 3 points in a row where this killer's first attacker has just been doing kind of anything he wants on this snake side.
3 points in a row, he's been on the other side of the field, right? And that's what you want out of your snake guy. If you can get to the other team's side of the field regularly, a lot of guns are going to be looking at you, and it's going to make it a lot easier for everyone on the drill side, the center of the field, and everyone behind you to play paintball.
Yeah, and he's getting some follow-up help, too. As soon as he made it past the 50-yard line, started looking cross-field, putting the pinch on their opponents.
Yeah, the only thing
he got some help.
Yeah, is once he missed that inside shot, Matty, I would like to have seen him come out to the tape and see if he can wrap and put some pressure on anybody else. If he can't, then come back and look at that inside. I just don't want him tunnel in on that inside shot for too long.
Yeah, because he is feeling no pressure down this sideline,
Exactly.
and he can definitely wrap around and try to get that inside angle for them, or just, he's pretty confident from that angle. Does end up getting that kill. Now he loosens up and trying to get a shot. I think this might be Navarro. Yeah,
No, it doesn't. There might be. Looks like him.
Yeah, that does look like Navarro.
Tall, thin. Only one player left alive now for Legion. He's in that drill one inset. He's been eliminated as well. Really good look here for the Killers. Really, really good look for that snake player for the Killers. He's playing really, really well. Happy with that. Happy with his. They should be happy with his performance for sure.
Yeah, the Killers look
like Killers.
They look like the favorites that they are, is what they look like right now. So.
Yeah, them and Psychopaths, right? Probably the two strongest teams so far.
Yeah, Psychopaths, but Psychopaths D4.
Oh, sorry.
Killers D2. Notorious, Dead Rabbits, blow for blow. Cartel Kids look pretty good against Zone.
Lots of good teams out here. Still early in the event. It's going to come down to how well these teams can adapt and develop over the 3-day event. Everyone's going to start here not playing the field, but some teams are going to learn the field faster than the other teams, giving them a slight advantage to go forward. Here we go with our next match. Austin Notorious, TNB, Florida, Texas matchup again, 1-1, 11:25 left.
All right. Yeah, a lot of time left in this one.
See if Mark Franz can stay alive a little bit longer this time. He's been shot out early. Ooh, Hubert gets shot early. Mark Franz looking in for a check in the back center. It's a goggle hit, Mark. You got to be careful asking.
Mark needs to tighten up.
He needs to tighten up, but you also have to be really careful asking for a goggle hit check. If you're shot in the face, in the goggles specifically, you can see the paint through your goggles. You should not ask for a paint check because the referees do like to throw flags. FSU attacking on the snake side. Down 2 bodies at this point. No, down 1 body. Sorry, they shoot their first player for TNB on the center of the field.
Yeah, so
I like the fact that FSU keeps attacking. Sorry, Matt, even when they're down on bodies.
Yeah, that's definitely what the things are really good at. The best teams are.
Yeah, and that's one of the things we talked about last couple weeks ago in Virginia. Sometimes those teams, when they lose their first couple guys, they just play defensively, and that just makes it easier for the team to come down and smash them out. It's only by getting up. Oh,
the body coming off for Notorious right now.
And unfortunately, it was their one guy on the Dorito side, so that's going to hurt them.
Yeah, they don't have anyone over on that side, but I was going to say, can TNB take advantage of that? They are starting to move down that side of the field. They still have 2 players over here on the snake side, but the point, definitely advantage goes to TNB here.
Yeah, the Notorious guy, I love him playing aggressively, but now he's crawled all the way to TNB's side of the field, and there's just nobody in a position to protect him. He's got 2 guys in front of him. The first guy comes through and stabs him, stays alive doing so. Is that Betcourt?
I don't think so. This guy's thicker than Betcourt.
Okay.
Yeah, that was a little bell drag?
Yeah,
Yeah, he did.
He got an ML King jersey on.
Nunez.
All right, well, he looked good.
Yeah, Nunez from Dead Legion here. Or sorry, TNB. Nunez from TNB. Looks like point is going to be good.
Killers.
TNB going to be taking a lead.
Killers 1 point away from Mercy here, huh?
I think it's 5 points.
5 points?
5
Okay.
points in D2.
I feel like we need to learn all these divisional rules and stuff. Guys, if we're making any mistakes,
It's Rich's fault.
with names or with rules or anything, please contact Matt Marshall at Go Sports. Or just hit me up later and I'll give you his private phone number. He's willing to take phone calls at any time. He just, you know, he wants to do a good job and he takes it seriously. So just let him know, guys.
So we'll see if Dead Legion here can present some sort of threat on the snake side, because the Killers have just been handling over
So
there.
if you were going to try to stop the Killers, what would you do, Matt?
I would definitely try to have some sort of offense on the snake side of the field in front of him, in front of this guy that's been tearing their team to bits.
Yeah,
But I also try to put a lot of pressure across field from that D side as well, too, which we just haven't seen.
Yep. I would definitely try to shoot the snake player from the killers on the break, and then I would put at least 2 guys in front of him, so if I did shoot him on the break, he would run into
So there's
somebody.
Betancourt. Here's what I would do. It looks like they did it. I would put Betancourt on the snake side with Navarro behind him, and I'd be like, your job is to neutralize this dude who's just slaughtering us. I think it's Luna. I think it's the guy that's been just destroying people.
Just got to kill out of back center. Yeah, just got to kill out shot out of back center. He's got a player past him, Maddie, on the Dorito side, but they can't see each other because the big brick, I believe, is blocking each other out. He goes into their snake, but hits the bunker, so they know he's there. He's shooting across at their inset Dorito 1, trying to get a kill on him. He's got a guy way in front of him on the Dorito side.
Oh, but a penalty assessed on the killers on the D side of the field, but Luna is just going to town.
Got worn out.
Oh, yeah, so Luna tried to run down the corner. That's actually good for the Dead Legion, though, as they have an opportunity here to potentially put a point on the board and put up a fight. 6:28 to go. They're looking at just one body here left for the killers after the penalty, and then Luna getting a little bit too greedy.
Drawn penalty himself, yeah. So first point here for MX Dead Legion.
Yeah, I think that's Navarro with the staying alive over here and getting that kill on Luna. So yeah, I would continue to do that. Put Betancourt as the one on the snake side, Navarro behind him, and neutralize Luna, who I think has been the big killer for the killers over here on the snake side. Now, if Luna had got just a little bit, he needed to tone that back just a little bit, man. He's just been going to town over here on the snake side, and he just threw his body away running into Navarro's gun.
Yeah.
And also, it didn't help that his boys got penalty on the other side of the field, and that also hurt him a lot too.
That hurt him as well. FSU coming back out. Down by 1 against TNB. Plenty of time left in this match. Marky Franz uncharacteristically struggling early in these matches, getting dinked out of spots.
And
usually,
that's like four times, I
yeah,
think.
but usually he's that one solid guy out there, you know, kind of like Betancourt, who's always live, always shooting his gun, always putting himself in a position to win. So maybe he's just going to take a little time to kind of figure out his spot out there, just because, again, they haven't practiced this field. They haven't, you know, got a bunch of sets on it, so they don't know what they can get away with and what they can't get away with. And Marky's not able to get away with the stuff out there that he thinks he can.
Yeah, he's just, when you have a player like Marky Franz, who can be a very clutch dude out there, you can't have the guy who's your gunfighter in the center of the field die 4 times early and think you're going to be doing really well.
Yeah. There's a big weight on your shoulders when you're one of the best guys on the team. And when you go out and die consistently early, you're really letting guys down on your team that fly. So good breakout for both teams, 5 alive.
TNB though, you know, so again, Texas versus Florida right now. TNB second place at World Cup last year. Well, another favorite.
Yeah, and I feel like TNB has a little advantage if you can bring in Betancourt and Navarro, players like that.
No, that's
sorry.
Dead Legion team.
Yeah, I was looking at the jersey in the corner. Looked like an MLP jersey.
It does look like an MLP. That is an MLP jersey. So that Nunez then.
Yeah, someone.
Yeah, no, that is for sure. It's wearing. Who knows these? You know, could be wearing someone else's jersey.
Yeah,
guys, you want your own
Nunez
shine?
is from Florida, right?
Yeah, you want your own shine? Wear your own jersey. Yes, but Nunez getting picked out of that back corner bunker.
Yeah, TNB struggling a little bit here. Nobody offensively on the snake side for him. They've got one defensive player in the tower pushed up against it. And he can catch that guy if he comes around the 40, but only if he comes around the 40. I think is that Lauder again?
Up in the snake?
Yeah, for FSU.
No, that's the guy.
The other one? The other
Lauder.
Other Franz. TNB down to just 2 players left alive. Snake Tower and Dorito Corner, I think.
I think it's Galvin.
Oh, Galvin, okay. FSU with Galvin moving into Snake 4, that big wing looking inside. He's got Marky Franz inside of him in the big tower looking this way. They've got someone behind them in the insert bunker. It's a 3-on-2 situation, as close as we can tell.
Yeah, and there's still 8:30 left to go, but this is a big momentum.
Yeah, it's a 1-point game.
Yeah, it's a momentum moment for Notorious. They need to get this point tied up. And yeah, body coming off for TNB from the center of the field.
Yeah,
Here
he was
getting
in a tough
pinched.
spot.
Yeah, that was a tough spot to be in. He had no one out wide for him.
Yeah, Betancourt was moved over to that Dorito 1 and was able to back shoot and put some pressure on him. So it's a 4-on-1 now, 4 FSU players against the 1 TNB player in the Dorito 2. Can't afford to concede because they're only up by 1 point.
So Galvin looking good here in the snake, backed up by, I believe that was Lauder. And Marky Franz staying alive that time. See the difference? Franz stays alive.
If they only would have listened.
So tie game there.
Some happy people out here enjoying themselves.
So now in this game with Killers and Dead Legion, same situation, 6:01 to go. But the situation is, can Luna be stopped for the Killers on the Snake side? Dead Legion needs to put Betancourt and
Head-to-head, right?
Yeah, put Betancourt.
Don't hide.
Betancourt, man, I was really impressed with what we were seeing from Lewis Betancourt. New pickup from the ML Kings. He's playing with Dead Legion here in D2. You know, so rookie in the Pro League, but still able to play down in D2. But man, he needs to have a game over here. You know, he needs to go head-to-head with Luna, and then Navarro needs to back up Betancourt if they want to stand a chance, because the Killers look really good right now because they've had so much offense on the Snake side.
Maybe they don't want to win, Matt. Maybe they don't want to win. Maybe they're just out here having fun, you know, trying to get some workout, get some cardio in.
So on the breakout now, see if Betancourt can stop Luna.
Betancourt getting checked here, Matty.
Yeah, Betancourt might have caught one from that inside.
Yeah, that
looks like he's clean.
You basically on the break, you got to drop, you got to jump out and get outside of the can, across the field that comes outside that shoots across at you.
So the Killers might be going to that dirty South D right now with this 2-point lead, try to burn some time off the clock. They're pretty good at it when they want to, but it looks like they are, actually no, they're going to go back to offense. They get in the body here and Snake. Let's see if this is Luna again. So I can read his back. I'm trying to give everyone their shine here.
Yeah, and you know, if you can play defensively well, it's great to switch gears like that and play offensive, defenses, because it gets so much harder for the other team to scout you, kind of know what you're doing. But for me, it looks like Legion's playing defensive here, and they're down by 2 points. Betancourt's in this insert bunker, has not looked to leave the insert bunker and kill the Snake yet. Player 30 there is in that inset can, trapped in the middle of the field. Back center's trapped in the center of the field. They're 3-1 guys looking inside, so everyone playing defensively here for the Legion when they're down by 2, and you'd expect them to play defensively if they're up by 2, so it's kind of surprising. Maybe they're cold. I don't know.
So I think the Killers have 2 separate bodies that they've been playing over here.
Yeah,
That's
for
the
sure.
one on the Snake side.
Yeah.
So Luna was in. This is not Luna.
This is the first guy that played.
Yeah, I'm trying to read his back. I mean, the roster, you got Robert Adams, Jackson Blue, Cody Clarkson, Ryan Hoskins, Joe Luna, Cody Pinchman, David Riley, and Smith. I think maybe it's Hodgkins, but does definitely have that is not Hodgkins on his back.
No, maybe.
Here's another public service announcement. Try to have a real legible font for your names on the back.
Yeah, cool isn't as cool as actually being able to read it.
My eyes work pretty good, but if I can't actually make out if I can see the number or the letters.
Player there for...
So that's Betancourt here. So Betancourt matched up with who's been the main killer. This has been their main killer for the Killers here on the Snake side.
Yeah.
See if Betancourt is
Betancourt's
going to run the highway. Oh, beautiful move by Betancourt. This is what we were expecting to see.
And you know, he had a guy protecting him from behind. Oh, and they protect Betancourt. So when the Killers try to come get it, Betancourt runs through.
This is Rich. This is exactly what we're talking about. Betancourt just tearing people to pieces over here. A little 3-pack for Lewis Betancourt. This is why Dead Legion picked him up.
He shot 2 of them and got the third one because they had basically forced the guy to try to come get him.
And then Navarro gets into the Snake right behind him. This is what we saw in Florida, you know, at the first event of the year, man. In Florida for the ML Kings, Navarro played amazing behind a couple different guys as a new pickup for the ML Kings, and I was very impressed by him. So having both Betancourt and Navarro on your team as the 1-2 combo on the Snake side should be potent for the Dead Legion, and we're kind of seeing it right now. Can Navarro, though, clean this up, keep this game close? 3:20 left to go, still down by 2, Rich.
Well, and what's interesting here is that you basically have 2 professional paintball players playing on a Divisional 2 team, right? Because we haven't had the first professional event of the year, so these guys haven't gotten their pro cards yet, so they can actually still play at this level, giving the Legion a little bit of an advantage here, you'd think. But no one told the Killers that, so the Killers are going out and playing like they're just another Divisional team. Var really having a hard time figuring out that there's nobody in front of him, nobody shooting at him from across the field either. And the general rule is that if no one's shooting at you as you move forward from bunker to bunker, it's because there's no one to shoot at you. So you go another bunker, and then little by little, you know, as people start to pick up your movements, they start to shoot at you.
Look, and I understand Navarro playing it safe here. However, he has 2 minutes and 28 seconds to work with. They need 2 points to tie. There is no overtime here. So if you want to win a game in the prelims, you got to win it outright. You got to do it in regulation time. So I need Navarro, or Dead Legion needs Navarro to push forward a little bit quicker and a little bit more aggressive than he is. But unfortunately for him, I mean, he tried, but just it was a beautiful secondary move here in a counterattack with Clarkson.
Yeah, just like you said, read and react. Now it's a 2-on-2. Now it's a 2-on-1.
And that's what Navarro was scared was going to
Yeah.
happen, but you still got to do it.
Yeah, of course. And like we said 1,000 times, Matt, if you're that first front guy in the snake, protect yourself first, right? If you put yourself in a position where that guy can run down the tape on you and kill you without protecting yourself, and the only guy that can protect you is all the way across the field, you're going to be disappointed a lot. Catch that guy trying to attack you and turn that game around.
Yeah, so nice bend but don't break moment for Matt Smith and Ryan and Cody Clarkson out here as I'm telling you, dirty South D for the Killers. They were in a situation where they had a lead, and even though Betancourt went through and shot 3 bodies, no one else could get any sort of production out there for the Dead Legion.
Yeah.
And both Smith
like we were talking
and
about,
Clarkson just holding it down.
Everyone was watching Betancourt. Oh my God, look at that move. Oh God, he got. Oh, did they get him? Interesting. What's the numbers now? I don't know. It doesn't matter. We'll figure it out.
Yeah, so Killer's in a real good position right now.
Yeah, and again, it comes down to a 2-on-2, and the team that takes the initiative and makes the move to try to win that game, oftentimes will win that game.
Yeah, it's a different situation here is TMB and Austin Notorious. You got to call them 2 of the I mean, I feel like a lot of these D2 teams are pretty good and have had success in the past. So
But you can't say they're all favorites.
But no, but that's what I'm wondering about. That's why I'm excited to be here this year and see these divisional battles.
For
because
sure.
there are legit interesting stories going on because so many teams can claim to be the favorite. TMB second in the World Cup. Austin Notorious beat Revo 2 weeks ago and looked amazing and almost won that invitational tournament. So right now, I mean, at 7:40 to go with it tied up, this is exactly what we were hoping to see here.
Yeah, and I'm excited because I want to see who the next, super talented player is going to be and who the most dominant team at this level is so that we can kind of start keeping our eyes out for those guys as they climb the ladder up to the pro ranks.
Yeah, I mean, pro teams do get relegated. The faces change. Who's up next? Those are questions that we're constantly asking. And this year, we're going to find out who our next rising stars are going to be.
Yeah, I look at it like there's more opportunities now in the world to become a top pro player, and this is just one of those great opportunities. We'll see who takes advantage of it.
So right now, Austin Notorious making some moves here. Snake side getting into the 40-yard line, snake 4 position. Looks like TMB making some moves on that D side.
Lauder,
going to
man.
D3. Oh, and Lauder getting another penalty too. So
They just need to figure it out, man. These guys are used to playing divisional and used to getting away with these calls. I think back on the divisional fields, but on this field, you're not going to get away with cheating. The guys are all over it.
Just grinding their gears a bit here on the attack. Too many miscues. And that's going to, looks like also the front player over here getting shot and taking the block. So that should allow it to be pretty easy sailing for TMB. No one on the snake side in front of them. And as soon as they figure this count out.
I think it's just Marky over on the drill side by himself, Matty.
Yeah, and it looks like, yeah, it is just Marky Franz. He just moved up though, and he might be able to catch this guy sleeping.
Yeah, he doesn't know where Marky is, I don't think.
Fallon,
he does
so
now.
it's Fallon for TMB here on the snake side. Number 18, ripping his lane. He did just figure out where Marky Franz was. So when you make those quick moves up, that's when you got to make that first kill.
Yep.
I mean, but hey, it's Marky Franz though staying alive in this one. He's the last player left alive. That's typically
What you
good
expect out of him.
Yeah, exactly. He has typically good survivability. Was playing catch a little bit early this morning, but so it is good to see him be that last player left alive. However, they are going to be losing this point because of that penalty on Lauder. So just across the board, Notorious, like I was saying, just grinding their gears and need to tighten things up. They were able to put a win up on the Dead Rabbits. It was a very close game. 4-3 was the score there. Right now, down by 1 to TMB.
This next match has been almost all killers, man. They've been looking really, really good.
Yeah, a minute and 49 seconds left on this in this match with Dead Legion down by 3 points. So play is still get Betancourt into the snake and get some offense out of him like we saw in that last point. Back him up and stay alive.
Yeah,
the rest of your guys need to stay alive.
I'm a little surprised and a little disappointed at how Legion's playing over there with Betancourt. Like they should be turning him. This is going to be our 6th point in our match, and we've seen 1 point where Betancourt went through the snake and did some damage. I'd like to see him do that every point, or at least until they stop him.
Also, I don't think they ran Betancourt as the one over here on the snake
first
side
couple
to start.
points, I don't think so either.
I think that's a mistake as well.
Big mistake.
I mean, if you got to pick a ringer up for a reason, utilize him as what he's supposed to do.
Until the wheels fall off. Snake on the break for the killers. Oh, big bite over there for Betancourt. Goes right to the 45-yard line in the snake. Great move for him.
Makes it in the killers. Get moving back in here, so looks like they are going with 2 separate first attackers here in the snake. Outstanding.
over there, all the way to the 40 Dorito, and now the 50 on this side.
But here's that Dirty South D we talked about, Rich. Get into good positions
and locking it down.
And then lock it down, but not until you get into the good position. So they're in pretty good spots. Snake 2, inside D1, and up in that center, and just as tight as can be. Everyone real tight. Here comes Betancourt. He's going to slide in trade out. Both begging for a penalty. Neither one's going to get it. They are going to get some help for Betancourt right back into that 50-yard line structure, actually at the 40.
I love how he played that, man. Betancourt is such a good player that I'd like him to stay in there longer, try to get some more kills. But the minute he traded out, they filled behind him. The guy behind him got a cross kill.
And then
goes right up there.
And the chaos sets in a little bit. That does produce a kill here. So about 50 seconds left to go. They're not going to win this game, but
is that Navarro again?
That is not Navarro.
I like the 1-2 backup over here at the Snake though with Betancourt guards working behind him. Oops, Smitty gets caught over there, the Doritos. The tower guys eliminate only one player left alive here for the Killers.
It's just Blue here, last player left alive, but just chalking up kills though. Here's the last player and trying to burn the clock off here. 25 seconds to go, trying to preserve this 3-point spread.
It might be a 1-on-2, Maddie. I think there's only 2 players left alive for Dead Legion.
2 players left alive for Dead Legion. They are going to finally pinch Blue out of that spot. So Dead Legion going to increase this spread a little bit.
Yeah,
point spread's huge.
They certainly played better towards the second half of the match than they played in the beginning of the match. In the beginning of the match, it looked like it was going to be a blowout for the Killers. But the Legions come back these last few points. Got themselves back in this game, but certainly not going to win. But at least gives them a little gleam of light at the end of this hallway. What do you think for lunch? You want Chipotle? Or you want to eat here? They got some barbecue here.
I mean, I'm down for whatever.
I just want something hot.
Not too picky.
Hot. Oh. Yeah, I don't know if you heard or not, but I'm getting picked up by Cyclone Paintball.
Okay, cool.
Just
coming back into it, huh?
Just based on the bus I see in the parking lot, I like what they're doing.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say, did you get like a full round of cortisone shots in all your joints, or what?
I'm taking it now orally. I just drink cortisone.
I thought you actually bathe in the cortisone.
Yeah. That and baby's blood. Here we go, FSU.
Well, you just need to get on that Shane Howell diet, like whatever Shane Howell is doing. Like that's what you need to do, because I think he might actually. You're still older.
He eats stem cells for breakfast. Yeah, he has a Rice Krispies and stem cells. Here we go, this next match. Austin Notorious down by 1, 6 minutes left in this match. Need to mount a little offense over here.
A lot more time left in this one. TMB just a slight lead. Austin Notorious just kind of across the board, needs to tighten it up everywhere.
Yeah, they've had a couple good points, but they've had some bad points too, kind of back and forth.
The tough thing is that they're having, so Markey stays alive, then Lauder gets the penalty. Lauder stays alive, Markey dies. They have offense on the Snake side, no offense on the D side. They're just kind of grinding the wheels across the board right now. So Coach Ryan Gray is probably shaking his head, because it's tough to coach when you're just getting inconsistent performances. TMB.
And penalties, another penalty on FSU, Matt. You called it.
Yeah, but this is good for TMB, man. TMB definitely, again, one of the favorites here, and playing Notorious with some of the shine that they've been getting the past couple weeks with how good they looked. But now it looks like Fallon's going to do a little tackle retreat. And did he get the kill from there? It looks like, no, he did not. But they have time to work with here, and there's just no reason to force it right now if you're Fallon, because you have a lead. There's really no reason to risk it.
He got shot in the back by his corner player.
Oh, did he? Okay.
He's shaking his head a little bit as he walks up. There's a nice tight grouping in there too.
Oh, that is Ramirez.
And Ramirez immediately looks inside like, oh no, I definitely didn't shoot you in the back. No, I mean I was behind you, but I was looking inside the whole time, so it definitely couldn't have been me.
It was a bounce shot off one of the flags.
TMB now pushing down the Dorito side of the field though, gets up to the Dorito 3 because he's going to put some pressure on Marky Franz in that Snake corner. 2-on-2 here, Maddie. Looks like maybe 2-on-3.
Yeah, this could slow this. This is going to slow this point down a little bit now with Marky Franz in a good spot here.
Yeah, Marky Franz in Snake 3, but again, 5 minutes left in this match. FSU down by 1 point, have to play offensively. TMB can just kind of sit back in that Dorito 3 in the Snake corner, shoot their guns, and hope for FSU to make a mistake. But they're not going to do that. Trade My Guns attacking. I mean, TMB is attacking up into Fizzy Dorito, forcing Marky Franz back up. He loses his support on the Dorito side. Now Marky Franz, the only player left alive for SFU. He's in Snake 2 playing against 2 players.
It looks like TMB is trying to shed the Florida Dirty South D because they're just going forward with the lead. They're like, oh, we're up by 1. Who cares? We're still
let's
pushing
go get
forward.
Them. Hey, and if no one's stopping you, man, why not? Because then when they do stop you, then you can, switch up and play D-ball.
Well, worked out for them though.
Do you think they got a coffee maker on that bus, man? I mean, it's a nice big bus.
Well, in the minute-and-a-half break we have in between sets, you maybe should go over and knock on the door.
I will. Espresso, please. Keep them coming.
See, what you want to do, Rich, is you want to get You want to get your coffee as cold as possible.
Okay.
And then that forces you to drink it really slow because it's
got
cold.
you.
It's not that good.
I got you.
And so, yeah, if you guys are joining us on Facebook, please head on over to Go Sports. Really appreciate your support here. Again, we need the support of the fans so we can try to keep you guys, bringing you guys the best paintball broadcast we possibly can.
And please support Divisional Paintball, man. We all start off as Divisional Paintball players, and if you want to be a pro guy, you got to work your way up. You got to be in the pits. You got to do all the hard work. So please support these guys for all the hard work that they're putting in.
Yeah, we got some more D2 matchups coming in this afternoon. We got one more D4 matchup, and it's going to be all D2. We got Dead Rabbits, Killers. We got Grit taking the field, DMG.
Been a good afternoon for sure.
Yeah, so Energy Elite Alpha.
Oh, so Energy Elite did make it. So he did just dish me last night for dinner for sure.
Oh, you're talking about Alan?
Man,
Stood you up?
Cut me deep. I put my tie on. I mean, I was looking good.
Rich, let's get you a nice steak dinner. Oh, just kidding.
Just kidding. I'll send you pizza. Hope you made it in, Alan. Whew. And I hope you brought some warm clothes if you did. Get ready for this next point here. FSU on the right, TNB on the left. This match was really kind of close. The last couple points have gone TNB's way. Notorious and Ryan Gray need to figure out how to not get a penalty on this snake side and how to keep Marky alive as long as
Austin
you can.
Notorious needs to tighten it up, need to clean it up. Whereas TNB, I like the offense we're seeing out of TNB.
I do too, man.
I mean, they are pushing things on the D side, pushing things on the snake side.
And to me, if they're not stopping you, then you got to do it, right? Because your options just get better and better as you move up the field. The angles get worse and worse for the other guys.
And we're seeing a lot of the more proactive front players, the guys willing to take those risks. They're not really dying moving up the field. Where they're getting shot is being reckless and over battling from the positions that they've taken way up the field. So what does that say? That means that those moves are there. You don't need to play tentative to play smart over here. You can ride on that reckless edge a little bit, definitely take that ground. The better players are doing that out here. It's just, what are you going to do when you get to the 50-yard line? That's the big question for, to see who's going to be the best attackers out here and really help their teams out. Who's going to be the best team? So jumping into this one, see if Notorious can tighten up or if TNB is going to continue with this offensive push. They are going to be losing their first attacker here on the snake side. It does look like Notorious is going to be losing the body from the backfield. It's 4-on-4 currently.
Both teams in the snake. FSU looking a little more aggressively, looking to go forward a little earlier in the snake.
Yeah, it's good though. TNB, as soon as they lost that body here, snake side, filtered the body right in. But
they tightened it up, right? I can't see anybody on TNB right now.
But Notorious able to be a little bit more, take a little bit more ground here on the snake side, getting into snake 3.
Yeah, I don't like Lauder there in the center cam, playing that defensive position. I'd much rather have him as the second attacking on snake. I thought he played really well in Virginia.
Yeah, he was basically their first attacker, mostly on the snake side.
First, a successful attacker for sure.
Yeah, I mean, he was, I feel, I mean, they got contributions out of everybody.
Yeah.
But he played amazing for them.
Yeah, I don't see him put him in a defensive position in the middle of that cam right now.
Yeah, it's not like they have. But that being said, I think what he's really trying to do is just put a lot of pressure on that D side, stop that attack, because TNB been very successful. So I actually don't mind that call. Lauder is a good gunfighter, and it was cool because you'd appreciate this. So he actually came up as a pump gun player and a mag fit guy.
Oh, nice. So you know he's got a good snap.
He actually didn't like speedball players, as he said, because he thought they were kind of all arrogant dicks.
Yes, we are.
Yeah, I know. I was like, I agreed. I'm like, yeah, definitely. But I feel like that's why he's so good at holding down zones as a gunfighter. And now he's going to be moving up again, just looking towards that D side, trying to keep TNB honest over there as they push up on the snake side. So far, this game plan is working out here for Notorious. Under 3 minutes to go, still down by 2.
Yeah, unfortunately, though, Lauder in the position he moved himself into, man, he can't stop the Dorito guy now. You can't even see him until he moves 4 more spots. I'd like to see him just check off and fall over and jump in the snake and do as a support player over here, because I think he's now figuring out he's got no shot Dorito side as he switches back to start looking snake side. And again, that's not playing the field, right? He went to that bunker because it felt right. He got there and was like, oh, I can't do what I want to do from here. I need to change it up. And it does so.
Marky Franz moving up as well on that D side. So full court press currently past the 50-yard line here in the snake for Austin Notorious. Down by 2 with 2:22 on the clock. And Lauder looking over his teammate's shoulder here. And looks like that crossfield kill is going to work out here from the snake for Notorious. Now Lauder is going to join his teammate in the snake. Another body, though, coming off. And this time it's for Notorious. Marky Franz
taking a bad time to die. Only player over there on the Dorito side of the field, Matty. He was on an island over there and needed to play accordingly.
There's still one more body in D2 out
wide.
Okay.
Yeah, I can't see because of the tower. I think that's Robert Hubert. So luckily there's a guy left over
but
there.
Here comes a big move for TNB. So TNB catches 2 players here sleeping. And he's going to run in and finish off this little 3-pack, and that should be the coffin nail for this game. Is TMB going to be emerging?
Let me say this as clearly as I possibly can.
Yes.
If you're in the snake by yourself, you should protect yourself down the line. If you're in the snake and you're right behind someone else looking inside, one of you two should protect the line. Otherwise, if the guy in front of you sees that both of you guys are looking inside, there's no reason for him not to take that risk and try to come get you both, which is what he did.
That was an absolutely nasty, perfectly timed move from TMB. And
that was on a silver platter. I think she was, well, you're hungry? Oh, I have this amazing meal for you right here on the silver platter. Please
we were
enjoy.
talking about how Notorious with how well they played a couple weeks ago, how they were a favorite, but in all these D2 teams, if you are just joining us, there's a lot of guys that could say, hey, we are the favorites. TMB, one of those squads, team from Florida, out of Miami, and but they took second place at World Cup in November.
What's also really different here, Maddie, is in Virginia, nobody knew who FSU was, right? Nobody had practiced them, no one had seen them, so none of those guys playing them had any idea how to play those. These guys have been playing them for a couple years in different divisions all over the place, so these guys know each other pretty well. They know what their tendencies are, so I think it helps them a little bit.
Well, and also, again, the Floridians wanted a good old Texas and Florida battle. We are going to see that this weekend. As it stands right now, the Floridians beating the Texans.
Looking pretty good.
Yeah, at least in this match. So we'll see how things continue forward, though, as Notorious did get one over the Florida team, Dead Rabbits, one of the better teams from Florida, in the first game. So Notorious looking like they're probably going to go 1-1. Still another game this afternoon, though. Actually,
They play 2 today and 2 tomorrow?
No, yeah, I think this is the last game we're going to see. The Killers play another one this afternoon at 1:40. Dead Rabbits.
Because they only play one.
Yeah, Dead Rabbits are going to be 12:45 against the Cartel Kids. That should be a good one. Killers are playing Houston Zone at 1:40.
I'm looking at the schedule. Where's the luncheon?
You don't get lunch.
There's no lunch?
No, not for you.
So nobody gets lunch?
Actually, I've talked to your wife about this. We're going to be.
She said you don't get lunch,
yeah,
bro.
She's like, hey, so you know how Rich likes the candy, right? So if you could actually put him on a little bit of a diet during the day,
Thanks,
so it'd be like a little mini fast.
Cool.
From
Thanks, guys.
From 8 o'clock in the morning till basically like 5:30 when we're done. You can eat after that.
Listen, based on how cold it is out here, if I was fasting right now, I would be dead.
And I'm not rooming with you on this one, so I'm going to need you to not go snack heavy tonight when you're in your room, because I know you all like to get into them snacks.
I do. I did really good for a long time, but the last couple months I've been going back into Candyland. Candyland. TMB, man, looking good. We say this all the time, but for me, it's fun to watch offensive paintball, right? To me, it's kind of, I understand sometimes you have to sit back, cross it up, and I understand it's important. I understand it's hard to do, but it's boring as shit. And I love to watch dudes just recklessly flying down the field and hoping for the best and learning how to consistently go down and play aggressively.
So you're saying you're a fan of TMB then, because that's kind of what they're doing.
Huge fan, yeah, that's why I'm saying that.
Yeah.
That last point, there's 2 dudes in front of a guy, right? They both looked inside. It was a 2-on-3. The dude's like, yeah, I think I can get these guys. Rolls the dice. They're up a couple points. Why not? They go get him. He gets them clean, wins that point. And that's how you become, even a better paintball player than you already are, is by taking those risks.
TMB might be losing Nunez.
Yeah.
Looks like they are. Still a Fallon, though.
Marky Franz shot out early for FSU. And again, on the back center there. I don't know how he's getting caught early like that. FSU's losing their second play on the Drew side. 3-on-4 advantage here for TMB as they fill down the Drew side of the field. 2 snake players for FSU, both putting a lot of pressure down the field.
Notorious wants to win this tournament. Marky Franz needs to improve his survivability.
He knows that. He's a good enough player. He's going to figure that out.
Hey, everyone's going to have those games.
Yeah, it's just, it's how you come back from those games and those adjustments and how you make those adjustments now. Oh, good. Lauder is now in the snake for FSU. Almost gets bunkered out by his gun. By his guy, excuse me. He did shoot him. He did get him. Okay, good.
Galvin just shot Lauder in the back from 2 feet away.
A kill's a kill. Lauder's like, bro, how is that possible? And look, TMB doesn't know. He goes down to bunker out the 50 snake there because that's the way he plays. There's just nobody there. Great point here for TMB.
But you see how quickly Fallon adjusted?
Yeah,
as soon as he knew the count. He knew, okay, 2 guys in front of me. Galvin shoots.
I'm going to wait for Galvin to shoot Lauder. Once Galvin shoots Lauder, I'll shoot him.
Yeah, and then he runs down with no one in front of him to wave the rest of his team off.
It's okay for us to tease them about it. I don't know if it's okay for you to laugh. Okay, I think that might be a step too far.
Look, here's the thing. If something funny is said or happens and I just organically laugh, it's not really my fault.
Well, it's not my fault, for sure, obviously. You're looking at me like it's my fault. Good point there for TMB, man. Looking really good this event. And You know, FSU might have come in this event a little overconfident.
cocky,
Like,
maybe.
I don't know if I mentioned this or not, but I was smashing pro players last 2 weeks ago, right? They were begging for mercy, and I wouldn't give them any. So maybe they came in here a little cocky, and maybe Ryan needs to knock them down a little bit and be like, listen, guys, no one's going to give this to us. We got to go out and work for every single point, play the whole point.
Well, it's kind of, so Revo lost that game against Notorious 2 weeks ago, and then
Oh,
came
really?
back on Sunday and just absolutely murdered everyone that they played.
They looked real good.
So maybe this might be, if they do end up moving on, a good
FS
loss
yeah.
for Notorious.
And we've said it 1,000 times. If you win every match, you don't learn anything.
And it's that whole just sports cliche in general. If it's not a loss if you're learning, and it's tough to say that,
But that is so true. Though,
it's
man.
so that's why it's become.
And that's why
cliches are cliches.
when teams go to events and don't win the event and come back to that event and just go back and do the same thing that they were doing before that event, they lost that event. They took nothing away from that. When you go to these events, you have to learn something and take that back with you so that when you're practicing for the next, Ryan Gray's walking out. Like, listen, bro, my guys are not going to be shooting themselves in the snake all the time, okay? So I need you to not pull penalties.
Yeah.
Well, so that was a 4-point margin. So maybe there was maybe 4 points is the cutoff. Because it looks like the other teams are stepping it up.
Yeah, it definitely does look like Hostile Ground is coming out.
Yeah.
So
Got that fresh carbon gear. There's a lot of guys out here in the carbon gear. Must be popular.
10 seconds.
Yeah, well, I saw, Ryan Gray is coming out to talk to the ref, and it looks like that is going to do it here for this set. So we are going to reset for the next one. And it's going to be SLT taking on Hostile Ground here on GoSports.com. Matty Marshall, Rick Stelford. We'll be right back.
The first National Xball League Divisional event of 2021 is just on the horizon. Don't miss the NXL Lone Star Amateur Open, going down Friday, March 19th to Sunday, March 21st at Giant Party Sports Paintball and Airsoft Park, just north of Dallas, Texas. The gunfights will rage across 2 different formats, 5-man and X-Ball, with 3 different levels of competition in each format. Make sure to register your team by Wednesday, March 10th, which is the final day to get your squad signed up for the battle. Also, tune in to watch all the action going down on center court, only on GoSports.com.